Yeah, we designated spitters live every week. Live, designated homie, cause we spit heat. We designated spitters, Francis and Pete. Yes, talking Yankee baseball, hip hop for the streets. Yup, we designated. Yup, we innovative. Yup, we designated. Spitters time that you know. Yup, we designated. Yup, we innovative. Yup, we designated. Spitters, let's start the show.
Welcome everybody to a live designated Spittaz. You know, I heard a rumor on the street. Word is that there ain't no better seat in the house than when you in front of the designated Spittaz talking some Yankee baseball. Real talk for the real fan. You know what it is.
Yeah, I already know, baby. We got new catchphrases and everything.
We got everything. I mean, that one, I kind of broke that one out a little early. That's bad on me. I broke that one out a little early. Nah,
listen, they can have that. I got a couple that I'm working on right now. You know
all right. You know, the crazy thing is, you know, people, you know, somebody said to me the other day, they were on the comments. They go, you know, I'm getting so tired of you talking about January. You guys act like what you're doing. All you're going to do is be on Twitch. I'm like, actually, no, that's not even part of the
Don't you love when they think they know?
They think they know. Only we know. And then you guys are going to know in January. But, man, it's going to be a hype time. But, man, everybody's here. Guys, by the way, you guys already know who we are. So forget the introductions. What I need all of you to do is share this out. Share this out everywhere you are, whether it's friends and family, whether it's social media. Share this baby out right now. I'm going to do the same thing. I think Francis is already ahead of me.
I just shared it out.
He already got it, so he's well in advance of me. But guys, this is it right here. This is your chance to talk directly to us. Hell, we'll do whatever. You know, we'll talk about the offseason, trades, whatever the hell you guys want. Honestly, whatever you guys want, we're ready to talk about it. So, honestly, man, throw it in there. Let us know whether it's topics you want us to discuss and debate, whatever you guys want to do. Yes, we're definitely going to talk about Matt Olson. I see it in there. The comment, the chat box is up. So we're ready to roll. We'll give everybody some time to get joined, and we'll go from there. But, man, exciting time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I see there's a good amount of people getting in here.
Yeah. Remember that time Floyd Mayweather did that? That was so weird. When he fought McGregor, he went, yeah.
Hey, RB's in the building.
RB, we got fam in the house.
RB, we got family in the chat. We got family in the chat.
We got fam here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I know you guys can't wait to see RB again. Don't worry, we got roundtable stuff coming soon.
Yeah, we got all that. RB coming. Let me say hi to everybody. Fritz, what's going on? Rodigo, what's going on? Johnny Almonte, my friend. Johnny has my little nephew doing, man. Enzo, Fritz, Bobby, Tyler, Anthony in here. Ruben, we got Big Ruben here.
Big Ruben.
Of course, RB. We got Fam. We got Eddie. We got everybody up in here. We got Ramon in here. We got Isaac in here. We got Will. Big
Anthony's
Blue in the Bronx.
Here. All right.
Big Blue in the Bronx. What's going on, fam?
What up, fam?
Everybody up in here. Perry, Michael. Come on, man. Everybody up in the house today. They want to see what the designated Spittaz are talking about today. But to be honest, we just talking about whatever you guys are ready to talk about.
Yeah, Tyler, we missed RB too, Tyler.
Yeah, we did. We got President Lesh in here. President Lesh.
Okay.
All right, President Lesh. I feel you,
right.
President Lesh. So, guys, honestly,
we're going to have members of the executive branch in here today.
We're going to have members of the executive branch. I heard Manfred, I believe, is joining us at some point to get some.
Oh, God. Is he going to show us the piece of metal for next year? Or?
You know, guys, we are going to just, honestly, man, I'm hyped, man. I haven't drank a lot of caffeine in a while. Today, I downed about 4 black cups of coffee because I drink my coffee black. First time in a while I'm drinking coffee. And let me tell you guys, your boy is ready to go. I'm hyped. I'm ready to go. I'm still one-arm Pete. At the moment.
Right.
Thursday, I do go to see a second opinion to see if I need surgery. Hopefully not. We'll see what happens. But Thursday, that'll happen, and we'll go from there. But Brooklyn in the house. We got the Bronx in now. We got the Bronx right here.
Oh, let's do it, baby. You know, come on.
Come on, fam.
Fun fact about Francis: I actually lived in Brooklyn until I was about 11.
Look at that. Look
Yes,
at
sir.
that. Fun fact about Francis.
There
I
you
like
go.
that. We should do that every now and then. A fun fact. What's a fun fact about me? There's not much.
He said, I'm not a fun guy.
I'm not a fun
He
guy at
doesn't.
all.
Let me tell you something about Pete. He's not for the fun and games.
No.
He wants to get right down to
Not
business.
at all. Let's get the business. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
You
all.
see,
That's all there is to it.
If Pete was the general manager, we probably would have had 3 or 4 moves done by now, because it's not about the fun and games. It's like, you know what I mean?
And on top of that,
final offer.
Aaron Boone wouldn't be here. We all know that. Aaron Boone wouldn't be here.
You guys know that Aaron Boone
wouldn't be here.
The most coveted manager apparently. He probably would be managing Oakland at this point, or the Mets.
Facts.
Or the Mets.
We got Washington Heights in here.
Hey, Wash Heights, que lo que? Dime a ver.
I love it. Let's get into it. I see some questions on there, guys. Like I said, man, throw those questions in. Throw topics. Whatever the hell you guys want to talk about. You know, we don't care. We don't care. We're going to talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. So if I miss your question, guys, throw it back out there. So let's see. Where are we on the first one? I saw one. Here it is. Is Seager to the Yankees still realistic or likely? I say it could be both. I think it's very well. Obviously, let's get the first one out the way. We're gonna agree with this. It's very realistic.
Of course.
We know that. Is it likely? Kind of think it's up there. I think it's up there.
Yeah, I would say Seager's the most likely candidate right now. That's where I'm at.
I agree.
That's where I'm at.
And I said that too in my thing yesterday. People were going like, I don't think people listened to my video yesterday.
You gave up so much information that it's like people they're running with like one thing. So it's like,
because I even saw a comment. The guy was like, you're not a Yankee fan if you want story. And I was like, I never said that. I never.
You didn't say anything about wanting. So you said that story is still a very real possibility, which he 100% is.
Yeah. So like I said, I've heard from 3 people, so we'll see. And I actually sent some messages today, so I hope to get something back. But we'll see if that's if that happens, and we'll get to all that. But speaking of Seager, what's not to like? You know what I mean? There is, like I said, there's pros and cons with everybody. We know that already.
Yep.
There's pros and cons with everybody. We know what he does good. We know what he does not so good. We know he's not the greatest defensive shortstop. We know if that middle of the infield is going to be him and Gleyber. We don't know if it's him and DJ, like it a lot more. There's the rumor also that Seager can move to third base pretty quickly. The lefty bat is a plus. We know that. He makes contact. That's a plus.
Yep.
So there's a lot of pluses there for Corey Seager that I like. He's going to cost money, potentially over 3, maybe a little under 3. We'll see. But I think like you, Francis, I wouldn't be shocked one bit if the Yankees signed Corey Seager.
I put it into our chat the other day. The guys we were talking. I think Joe or RB asked, like, where do you guys see all the shortstop signings? So I did a list. I'm not going to reveal my list right now because I'm not trying to give everything out in the first 5 minutes here, right?
Yep.
But with Seager, I still feel his most likely landing spot is the New York Yankees for much of the things that you named already, the lefty bat. But let me just to be different, to add on to it, right? Corey Seager off the field, he just fits the Yankee profile, right?
Yeah,
we know that.
He does.
I put out a tweet thread maybe yesterday or the day before yesterday, and it was speaking mainly about like Correa versus Seager, but not in terms of skill. It was terms like off the field profile, like fitting the Yankees. And Seager just fits that profile. If you look at him, you look at the way he approaches his work day in, day out, he looks like a Yankee guy. Like that's, you know what I mean? Like he's not ruffling very many feathers. He's not, giving you fodder in post-game interviews or whatever. He says all the right things. And the whole thing about him not being, good defensively has been overblown at this point.
I even said that he's an average defender. He's not some guy that's going to bobble the routine plays.
He makes the average. Listen, guys, and you guys may not like this comparison or agree with it, especially with everything that's out right there right now. But in terms of like his glove at shortstop, he's very reminiscent of a Derek Jeter, maybe better.
I was going to say the same thing.
Maybe better. All right. If we're calling a spade, he's going to make all the average plays. He's going to cover a decent ground there. He's not going to make that many above average plays there, but he's gonna make the average. He's gonna make the outs he's supposed to, and that in and of itself is a huge upgrade from what we started at shortstop last year.
I was just gonna say that either way, it's an upgrade at shortstop, on both sides of the ball.
On both sides of the ball. On both sides of the ball. Now, what I feel like is happening is that you have different camps in Yankee land right now for the fans, right? And there's the people who feel like if I want Correa to sign with the Yankees, I need to like bash Seager and bash all the other candidates.
Yeah.
That's not true. Like,
not
look,
at all.
I'm 100, and like I said, we'll get to that later. I don't want to even go into him now because I know that's going to be a good hot topic. But I will say this: my personal choice, my number one choice, would be Carlos Correa.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Corey Seager's not a good enough option at shortstop because that's a lie.
Francis, I'll get this off the bat right now because I think we agree with this. This crop of shortstops is so damn good. Would you really be mad about any of them?
How could you miss?
So here's what I'm saying. We know the big guys, right? Seager, Story, Correa, Simeon. People shit on Simeon. How?
Simeon had a great year.
Arby asked me today, so I'll tell you guys this today. Arby goes to me and goes, he said in our chat, he goes, who would you guys say, out of all the players available, who is it was something like, who is going to be the most productive going forward? And I said, to be real with you, if this guy continues who he is over the next 3-year span minimum, Simeon's the best.
Right now, if you're going off of our most recent
season. Now, like I said, if I'm looking at projection and potential, Correa. I'd say Carlos Correa has the overall ability to be better than everybody. But
for the long term,
you can't deny Marcus Simeon at all. This guy is damn good.
Simeon, see, I think with Simeon, people are underselling it a little bit. I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I don't talk to very many people. Like I literally, just because I joined NYY News, like by luck of the draw, because I'm associating with Pete and different guys, I began talking to guys like Hoke and all these other people. But before I never had a relationship with them. But aside from what they're saying about Seager and Correa, Simeon's market, if you just put his name into Twitter and like read, Simeon's market is very robust. Hey, I would hazard to say it might be even more robust than Seager and Correa because more teams feel like they can land Simeon.
Correct. And I think the same thing's going to happen with Story. The same thing's going to happen with Story. You know what's funny?
And you're not hearing much about him now, but his market is going to pick up.
Bro, based on my video, and guys, I'm sorry for getting ahead because I know you guys are probably asking a lot of this stuff, so we'll continue on. But let me just say this real quick, too. The funny thing about Story is I feel like Yankee fans would be disappointed if they got him. A lot of the Yankee fans on Twitter, you see it, like even in my comment section of my video yesterday, I'm like, guys, all I'm doing is reporting what I'm told. I've done that since I've started on YouTube, and I'll continue doing it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that this is the greatest option in the world. I'm saying what I'm hearing, and a lot of Yankee, I don't want him. Are you mad? You wouldn't want Trevor Story on your ball club? Why?
No, they're gonna say, oh well, you know, he's a big strikeout guy, and we already have a lot of that in our lineup. And I get it. That's nice. That's good. It's good commentary that you stole from the MLB Network from Jeff Passan and everybody else who says it. But the fact of the matter is, and I want to shout out Ruben because he sent this super chat speaking about Story.
Awesome. And guys, Francis, I'm sorry to cut you off. I just want to say this real quick. Guys, we do have to get the super chats before anybody else because they go away. So just an FYI, if somebody sends a super chat, we got to get to it immediately because it will go away over time. So if we don't answer your question, resend it because we do got to go on with the chat. There's a lot of people in here. Yeah,
exactly. No, so what Ruben said was the one thing I like about Story is that he steals bases at a high clip. That's something that when we're speaking about the other crop of guys out there, Story is in the elite end of that. His speed is elite. His base running is elite. He steals bases. Another thing that's being, I guess, overlooked or undersold, Story is probably the second best defensive shortstop out of the crop.
100, no question.
It's arguable. Some people might not like this, but it's arguable that he's the first best. And I'll tell you why. Carlos Correa did just come off winning a platinum glove this year. You cannot take anything away from that. But Story has been elite defensively at shortstop since the moment he said go to now, it's been elite. Not to say that Carlos hasn't been as good, but for Carlos, it's been a buildup to now. He's literally a platinum glove shortstop. Trevor Story has been, so you know what I mean? Like Like let's give the credit where it's due. Trevor Story is not a pushover. He's not a slouch.
Not at all.
He wouldn't be he like I the fact that Trevor Story could be a plan B just goes to tell you how deep this free agent class
he could be a plan C.
Yeah. Honestly, he might be.
He could be. He could very well be.
He honestly might be a plan C or D.
He could also be a plan A. You never know.
Exactly. Which was the other super chat that we got from Anthony, I think. He said, "Hey guys, if that rumor is true of Hal not wanting to spend $300 million for either Correa or Seager, do they pivot and go to sign Story?"
Well, just to be fair, so let me just jump on that real quick because I put that information out there. My understanding of it was that it wasn't specifically Story, but that's the name that one person said keep an eye on. It wasn't like three of them didn't say Trevor Story is the guy they're going after. One of them told me Story should be a guy we look at because the Yankees had interest in him. And a lot of the idea about them souring on him, they don't believe is necessarily true. Because where the money would be the difference. Because I've said this before. And, I tell you what, like if you look at that, and again, thank you, Anthony, for the super chat. You look at a guy like Trevor Story, and if the Yankees say, I mean, Francis, you may know this better than I do. What's his projection money-wise? Under $200 million, I'm pretty sure. Unless somebody blows it out the water.
Trevor Story?
Yeah.
Yeah, Trevor Story is not projected to get more than 230 million, which like 230, 240. So on the high end, and this is the high end that I've seen for projections, the high end is 240. On the low end, there's some people out there that think he signs a deal of like 185 million.
And I mean, look, if you can save $100 million, and again, we're not making the money. I think the Yankees should spend all they want. I think Hal should go up to 270, 280, 290, even. It doesn't matter to me. But at the end of the day, if you save money there and you put it to a Robbie Ray, you put it to a Starlin Marte, can you imagine adding all those guys? So that would be absolutely huge. Let me look for the next question on here. Do you see a shortstop coming off the market before December 1st? That's from Chris Perez Jr. I would say I'm going to go with yeah. Okay. I'm going to say there's at least one big signing before the shutdown.
Yeah,
the lockdown,
I will
whatever
say
the hell it's called.
I will say I am not 100% sure that it's a shortstop.
I think there's a big signing.
I will say that that a big deal could happen before December 1st. I would put it at 75% chance one of the bigger free agents, because remember, it's not just what we're paying attention to in the shortstop class. You have Starling Marte at center field.
Yep.
You have Robbie Ray at starting pitcher. You have Justin Verlander at starting pitcher. You have Max Scherzer at starting pitcher. You have Freddie Freeman, who reportedly turned down an offer from the Braves this week.
That's right.
They might counter with the right number. He might sign that deal. That's a big signing. So I would say we're about a 75% chance that one of these big names signs before December 1st. Because some of these guys, like I said a couple episodes ago, they're going to want to know where the hell they're going in February. And some of these guys aren't going to want to wait. Like if I'm Justin Verlander.
Oh, yeah, I'd want to know.
I could see and this may be a hot take. This might not be a hot take to some of you. But I could see Verlander signing wherever he's going to sign this week. And I'll tell you
makes
why.
sense.
He has until, Thursday or Wednesday to accept or decline the qualifying offer.
Yeah.
If he declines that qualifying offer at 18 million, he's got to know that there's a robust market out there where he's going to get a couple years and the money that he wants.
Yeah.
If the market is not what people are saying it is, because I know a lot of people are out there reporting stuff, but I haven't seen it corroborated by some of the insiders.
Right.
So I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know what Verlander's market is. I've put out my own guesses. But if the market is not what some of you guys are saying it is, that $40-50 million people want to offer him, then I could see him accepting the QO this week.
Yeah.
Like Verlander's he's definitely a case. Noah Syndergaard is another guy who could accept the qualifying offer this week.
Syndergaard makes a ton of sense because I don't think anybody's going to blow him out the water. And if you think about it, with a guy like him, he could be the best free agent starter next year.
Exactly.
If he gets that 1 year.
I was super shocked that the Mets even went qualifying offer with Syndergaard just because you run the risk of paying $20 million to a guy who pitched what was it, 2 innings or something last year? That's really, it's like, guys, that's a nice little payday. It's a nice little payday for somebody who hasn't, you know what I mean? I'm not criticizing because the Yankees have done the same, if not worse in certain cases, but you remember you gave him the QO and you gave Conforto. Did they give Conforto the QO as well?
I believe so.
And they gave Stroh the QO.
Stroman,
So
yeah.
it's like, wow, like, okay, if you had to choose, right, who I'd rather like give that 18.4 to, Stroman would be my guy. Why? Because he pitched for you
He'll
this
pitch.
year.
Right.
And he's probably going to pitch again.
Yeah.
Now, with Syndergaard, yes, there would be teams out there willing to take the risk. You always have to watch out for teams like the Dodgers. The Padres always seem like they don't care what's going on. They'll sign you. But like, I feel like the Mets, if they didn't give him the QO, they could have found a way to like pick him back up in free agency. So that was shocking. But like I said, he might just accept that QO this week. Yep. Why not? If I was him, I would have been accepted it.
I agree.
So we got accepted it last week.
LI Yankee King in the house. Thank you for the super chat, LI. We greatly appreciate it, fam. Yankees don't need to sign a big-time shortstop. They have Peraza in the minors. Yankee fans don't want to hear this, but it's time to give the prospects a chance, and spending money doesn't work for the Yankees. So 2 things on that one. I think I can wrap this one up, to be fair. 1, starting some of the prospects I do agree with. Now, who and what we can debate on there. Spending money doesn't work, I think, is incorrect. We've seen the Yankees do it in the right way, and we've seen where it works for the Yankees. We've seen 09, but look who they got. They got the ace they needed. They got what they needed in 09. They got 2 starting pitchers who strike guys out. One they consider more of an ace than the other one. A.J. Burnett killed the Yankees for years, and he struck guys out. He was a strikeout pitcher. We know that. CC Sabathia was the ace and the horse the Yankees finally needed. They got him. They also got the best first baseman, arguably in baseball at the time. And they also traded for, people always forget this, Nick Swisher was supposed to be our first baseman. And he had a great year in right field, became the right fielder. So there was a lot of smart things done. So the Yankees that year, think about it, they traded some prospects and they spent money. That's what they have to do. But see, look, when L.I., and I love you, bro, but when you say things like spending money doesn't work for the Yankees, but that's their advantage. And that's the problem. That's why I get so frustrated. That's why Francis gets frustrated. We talked about this all year long. Deadline and all that stuff. The Yankees have the advantage of having a good farm system and having money. Teams like the Dodgers and only a few clubs can really say. The Red Sox, the Mets. Well, the Mets, whatever. But they can do these things. The Yankees can do that. It's the way you go about doing it is the real problem here. Peraza, look, Cashman said he could start at short now defensively. He could hit.
Yeah.
Trust me, he could hit at that level. All last year, everybody told me. They said, Pete, this kid is ready now. He could come up right now. That's why I said at the end of the year, I thought he should have been called up. Because everybody you hear from says this kid could hit right now at this level and be very good at this level. So debating that or not, it really doesn't matter. But the Yankees should spend money. They should call guys up when they have to. They should run it like the Rays run it, but with the added part that they can spend hundreds of $millions in contracts.
So I'm really happy that you bring up the Rays, because my response to LI Yankee King, and not just LI, because there's a couple of people that feel like this. I saw somebody respond to a Joe's tweet this week saying, why do the Yankees have to spend so many hundreds of millions of dollars to contend when you have teams like Tampa Bay who contend at like 60 million? And I responded saying it's very simple. Franchises, organizations are built to survive in their environments.
Facts.
Right? Tampa Bay has to survive at 60 million in payroll, 70 million, 50 million in payroll, because they are bred to do so. They were not bred to spend that kind of money. They don't have that financial wherewithal that the Yankees do, that the Dodgers do. So they obviously had to pivot to something different. They had to find a way to compete. So what did they do? They went and got some people who thought outside of the box, smart guys. They got some nerds. They got people who could get more out of less. And that's how they put their team together. They became a scrappy organization who gets more out of less. And then when a player is reaching that moment where they get expensive, even in arbitration, they ship them out for the next young guy who's going to come up and they can get more out of for less.
Facts.
The Yankees are not bred to do that. So as much as I was on the bandwagon this year saying like, we got to call up these kids or whatever, I was saying that because in the moment we didn't have another choice. We did not have another option. You can't, like, in the middle of the year, a big free agent signing doesn't normally happen. So you got to go with what you got at the time. And we had guys who were in our farm system doing well that I thought deserved a shot. But in the offseason, we shouldn't be approaching the offseason the way Tampa Bay approaches an offseason.
Of course not.
Because we are bred to survive in a different arena. Our environment is the environment of the Los Angeles Dodgers, is the environment of the Padres right now, is the environment of
the Red Sox.
that the Red Sox are in, that the Mets want to be in. I mean, they say they're in, but we have to see, right? That environment where it's like, this is the casino. This is where you go into that secret room in the casino. And it's like, yo, this is the high stakes table.
Facts.
That's where the Yankees are bred to play. Yep. So we are at our best when we spend the money. I know people say, but 300 million, like, why do we have to do? Because that's how we are bred to survive.
Yep.
That's how we are bred to survive. If the Yankees are going to change that, I mean, this is not the offseason.
Change the name too. Then if you're not going to be the Yankees, then don't fake to be the Yankees.
Yeah, be something like I don't know why I can't understand why fans would want the Yankees to be anything other than financial giants. They're in New York City. They make more money than any other franchise. Why should they be frugal?
And I understand. I do understand where a fan could come out and go, well, Pete, they do have Florial and they do have Peraza. I mean, that gives you two guys they could put in there, right? Yeah, potentially they could. But I think even me being arguably one of the biggest supporters of Estevan Florial all year, I'd rather have Starlin Marte in center field. If you could do that.
100%.
I mean, that's my thing, but that's the power and the muscle of the Yankees.
And that's where the Yankees have to flex their power.
Correct.
Like, see, the thing about prospects, guys, we've said this time and time again. Prospects are nice, right? Prospects are nice. You
want to hold them. You want to hug them.
The aspirations.
You want to give them a little.
They smell. A little noogie. They smell good. You want a little kiss on their forehead. Oh, my little Jason Dominguez.
Yeah,
Dominguez.
My little.
You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. When you're the New York Yankees, right? You do not have to necessarily bank on the hopes that Dominguez comes up and does everything he's hyped to do, when you have the money to buy someone who is already doing that right now. Do you understand? So if the right opportunity presents itself, it's good to have prospects. I'm not saying that we don't need prospects, because there was a time where our farm system was bereft of any prospects that people wanted, and we were very unsuccessful because of that. The reason that the Yankees are in a very unique position this offseason to take the next step and further is because we invested in the farm system the way we did, and we have a decent farm system and money. The ideal situation is to have both. Why do I say that? Because the money can get you a shortstop, a center fielder, maybe a starting pitcher. The prospects can get you your first baseman, some relief arms, and maybe a catcher. You imagine making all of those changes in the same offseason, and only 3 of the new players costed money because you got the other 3 with prospects.
That's right.
That's what prospects can do for you.
Yep.
Right? But we can't hug onto them and tattoo them on our arm when they're playing low A. Like, come on, guys. Like,
and that's been a lot of the topic that we've had. So getting to our good friend Ra sends in the super chat. To be fair, Story has been the most durable of the other 2 shortstops. In my opinion, I'd be happy with a Story and Olson combination. Who the hell wouldn't? Wouldn't? Look, the good thing about that is too, because you got some balance there too, right? You got a guy who makes a lot of contact, cut his strikeouts down a ton in Olson. And then you got Trevor Story, who, I mean, like you said, defensively, he's excellent. Yep. He's durable. He's been on the field. He's a leader. We know that. We know he has that mentality about himself. He's fast. He steals bases.
We need that.
And
that's a lack
he's
on this team.
Fair. He's going to strike out. I get it. He's going to strike out. Understandable. That's okay.
So are the rest of
everybody else.
Our other stars, Judge and Stanton.
Yeah, you're gonna out also. And look, I'm not making excuses for guys striking out, because I've said it multiple times. We need more contact. Matt Olson does that. That. So he adds that contact.
Starling Marte
does that. And I saw Marte recently. That man is jacked.
Oh, this guy, he's a physical specimen. But I would never have taken that picture. That
Florial body.
Yeah, he was in a picture with Gary Sanchez. I was like, I would never have taken that picture if I was Gary Sanchez.
Gary should have been like, bro, when you post that, just crop it.
Bro,
let me see it before. Let me see
Gary
it before
Sanchez,
you post that.
Gary
that shit
Sanchez
out.
look like a cab driver standing next to this man. Like, what are you? This man has biceps out to here, the shoulders.
Veins
He's
are
tall.
popping out. He's
I
jacked.
mean,
He looks
listen,
like an
man,
ultimate athlete.
I was just like, yo, put the pinstripes on, homie, right now.
Put 'em
like,
on, put 'em on.
People want to tell me that this guy's 32. Do you know at the age of 32, he is way more in shape and athletic than Gleyber Torres' 24-year-old ass? Like, what are we talking about?
Gleyber Torres in those new pictures look like he's getting a little chunk on him.
I hope that he's
getting a little chunk on him there.
I think he should be going back. He should be going the opposite way, but I don't.
We'll see. Ruben comes through again with the super chat. Ruben says 1, Starlin Marte, 2, Trevor Story, 3, Judge equals havoc on the bases and many, many, many runs. Bro, I would fall out flat on my face if that's what the Yankees ever ran out there.
Yeah, no, that would be great.
Now, let me bet it. Let me watch this. Starlin Marte, Trevor Story, Judge, Olson, Stanton, Gallo, Stallings, whoever the hell else is out there. Because I can't say Gary. I ain't ever saying Gary.
I knew Stallings was coming.
But can you think about that, though? Marte, Story, Judge, Olson, Stanton. Stop it.
And a healthy DJ LeMahieu.
Are we allowed to win that much? That is winning.
Listen, man, I want to tell you guys, look, it's not out of the realm of possibility that we don't end up with Correa or Seager. Like, and it's not just, it could be, that, what Pete reported in the video from yesterday is 100% accurate. And Hal says, look, I already got Stanton on a contract that's $300 that I'm paying off. We just signed Cole on a contract that's $300 that I'm paying off. Judge. I got to re-sign Judge. I want financial flexibility in case an opportunity presents itself in the future. I just don't want to do that. And maybe that's what they say. And maybe they don't go with one of those guys. Story would be a phenomenal fallback option.
Francis,
Simeon would be phenomenal. You know that Bowden projects Simeon to only get a 5-year deal worth $148 million. Do you imagine?
That's stupid. I mean, if you can guarantee me, and I would probably bet more.
And it's because of age.
That he has a minimum of 3 good years. If you can,
Simeon?
Yeah.
Minimum. Simeon, I would bet with you. I would bet the same with
if
you.
If somebody tells me that, I'd be like, all right, so he's A. He literally is 1A. If that's his salary, there's nobody better.
No, yeah. Because here's the thing. If we are subscribing to the belief that Anthony Volpe is as box office as they are telling us that he is only about another year, 2 years away, maybe. That would mean that we could afford to sign someone who is going to be here for the next couple of years and then slide over or transition when Volpe comes up, right? If that is the case. Now, for me personally, Francis, the ideal situation for that is to sign Seager. Why? Because many people say that he's going to do better at third base anyway, right? His range is limited as a shortstop. He doesn't really whatever. But at third base, he could probably be really successful.
Facts.
Well, you know what? Him at third, Volpe at short, I think I like my chances. I think I love my chances.
But that's the thing. And that's what I was saying before. Like when you said about whoever they sign, this is the best off season to get away with being like, we didn't want to spend $300. You don't even got to say it.
No.
If the Yankees came out and were like, guys, we looked at everything. We looked at all the guys available. We truly feel Story was the best option. We truly feel that Simeon was the best option. You can make that case without anybody getting mad. I know I wouldn't. I'll tell you right now.
If Cashman comes out and says that, people can't get upset. Like for Simeon, especially with Simeon, you can't get. Do you know Simeon was the heart and soul of the Toronto team this year?
Yeah,
Simeon was the heart and soul of one of the best.
By Vlad, that's it.
One of the best offenses in baseball.
Yeah,
I think Vladdy Jr. would tell you himself that if Simeon is not on that team, he doesn't have the year that he had this year.
No, probably not.
I'm gonna tell you right now, a veteran like Simeon is exactly what you want in a lineup that's young like the Blue Jays. If I'm the Blue Jays, I would commit all types of sin to make sure I got Simeon back.
Facts.
Because without Simeon in that lineup next year, they're gonna look very different. People say, "Oh, it's just one guy. It's not gonna be."
Nah, it's a major difference.
Trust me when I say it. If the Toronto Blue Jays run out the same lineup, sans Simeon, you're gonna see a different offense next year. I'm not saying that Kevin Biggio doesn't take the next step. I'm not saying that Bo Bichette doesn't get even better, that Vladdy doesn't get even better, that, George Springer, with the injuries and everything, Teoscar is a guy who's good.
Yeah,
I get it.
They're still there. They still there.
They got a lot of thump. They got a lot of power. They got a lot of contact in that lineup. They got a lot of damage that can be done. But Simeon was the catalyst there. Case in point, look at the Yankee offense in those 2 years when DJ LeMahieu was DJ LeMahieu. And look at the Yankee offense last year when DJ LeMahieu was not DJ LeMahieu.
Right.
It was a huge difference. It was a stark difference. And we chalked it up to a lot of different things. We said there's not enough lefties, there's not enough whatever. Let me tell you something. 2 years ago, we still ain't have enough lefties. But that offense was churning. Why? Because we had a catalyst at the top of that thing, making it go. This guy was getting hits almost like every other at bat. Every other day he had a multi-hit game. If he came up with runners on base, it's just like, okay, add to the score because he's about to. When he wasn't doing that, you saw the difference. So I feel like Simeon's a guy that if you're Toronto, it's like, dude, you really don't want to lose this guy. But you're going to have a lot of competition to sign him. A lot.
Well, I'm surprised it took this long, even though Taco Nacho was sending it multiple times. So Taco Nacho, thank you for following the rules that we were saying. He says, Pete, how serious is the whole Olson thing? And do you think we can get a trade done this week? Remember, Paxton was traded this week a couple of years ago. How serious is it? I think it's extremely serious. I think the Yankees recognize that Olson is available, and I think they also recognize that they can get him. I think all that is obvious. Now, the question comes to right now, how many, what are the offers looking like right now? Because I've seen people come out and go, well, what's basically happening is that there's not enough interest in Olson. That's stupid. I'll tell you right now, that is stupid. If you believe that there's not enough interest in Matt Olson, I got a bridge to sell you. Now, is it true that it could be possible that they're not getting the offers they expect? That is very possible. That is very, very possible. We know the Brewers will be involved. We know Boston's involved. We know the Yankees are involved. We know there'll be many of the Mariners could also be in. There could be a lot of teams out there that could be really interested in Matt Olson. So just saying as they should be, Yankees' interest, yes, it is very serious. I think everybody knows that by now. I think that could very, very much happen. We don't know what it will look like. I wouldn't be shocked one bit if it happened anytime soon. Now, to answer your question, could it happen by Friday? It actually could. It actually could. And that's not me just saying it because there's actually some evidence that could back that up a little bit when it comes to rosters and, putting some non-tenders and things like that. You got to get some of these guys on the roster. You got to move some of these other guys. So very, very interesting when it comes to Matt Olson.
I think Pete said everything there when it comes to Matt Olson. I just want to piggyback off that and say, yes, 100%. The interest is 1,000% real in Matt Olson because he fits so many different ways. One, he doesn't cost anything, right? As much as people are predicting the Yankees to go blow through the threshold and everything, I also agree that they will blow through the threshold, but the Yankees are still Hal's Yankees, and Hal's Yankees love to get a steal whenever they can.
Yes,
Matt Olson is the prototypical steal. This guy is arguably one of the best first basemen in the game. He's a left-handed bat. I mean, he checks off so many boxes that the Yankees don't have right now that it's just like, it makes all the sense in the world.
Tons.
So of course they're in on it. I mean, I don't think Cashman did anything to dispel that or anything. I mean, obviously some of the interviews that came out, he's not going to show his hand, guys. I mean, guys, that would be stupid. That would be dumb.
I just got to tell my Yankee fans something real quick. For some of you who are like, well, Pete, that can happen because Cashman said this. Guys, stop it. I mean, I don't even, when somebody says something to me, I just say in my head, yeah, you haven't watched for long. It's impossible that you've watched for long. Do you know how many times if Cashman has said what he truly believes, how different these rosters would be?
Yeah.
Bubba Crosby would have been our center fielder. We never would have got Johnny Damon. And that's just one. There's tons of options, tons of times that Cashman has went out and said something. Again, the deadline. We will go over if we have to. Then he comes out, well, we wanted to stay under, and okay, we know that. You're not giving your hand up. Makes sense. So I think that could be also a problem for Oakland. They kind of gave their hand up already.
They showed. They showed. So teams like the Yankees are going to proceed with caution. Why? Because they're like, look, the one thing I don't want to do is bid against myself.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not saying, please pay attention. I'm not saying the Yankees are the only ones in on Matt Olson, because I think that would be a bit of an ignorant take. Matt Olson is one of the best first basemen in baseball. He costs nothing, and he has 2 years of control left. There are definitely a lot of suitors interested in Matt Olson right now. What I'm saying is the Yankees don't want to bid against themselves if they already submitted a package offer, right? They don't know whether or not somebody beat their offer, but chances are no one has beaten their offer yet, right? So they don't want to bid against themselves, meaning, oh, we sent an offer, we haven't gotten anything yet. Let's send an even better offer. And wait, time out. You don't even, let's hold on a second. We don't even know. We know that other teams are involved. All right, let's not, be dumb. Other teams are involved, but we don't know to what extent, because while he makes sense for other teams, the other teams also have a lot of ways that they can pivot, a lot of options that they're looking to otherwise. But when it comes to the Yankees and Matt Olson, he's such a fit that Cashman really has to go in for that in a way that other teams might not have to. So him knowing that, it would be dumb to say, I'm just going to keep adding to our package offer.
No. You'll sit back and wait at that point.
Just let it play out, because what they're going to do is they take the Yankees offer. They wait to get a better offer, and then they circle back to the Yankees to get the offer that they wanted from the Yankees in the first place.
Correct.
But what happens if they don't get a better offer than the Yankees' first offer? Well, then Cashman wins, and he ends up getting him for lower than what they wanted to sell him for, because they didn't get a better offer. This is how the offseason works, guys. It's give and take. There's a lot of, but it's like no GM who's worth his weight is going to freaking say that to an interviewer in freaking November.
No,
you know what I'm saying,
not.
guys?
Of course not.
Like, he has to come out there and say, Gary Sanchez could very well be our starting catcher in 2022. Even if he already told his team that Gary Sanchez is gone, he can't say that.
No, because it hurts his value. That's stupid.
The same thing with Hicks. People got upset. Oh, I can't believe he said that Hicks may very well be. Yeah, guys, he said two conflicting things in the same sentence. He said, Aaron Hicks may very well be our starting center fielder. We need to upgrade center field.
Right.
He said both in the same sentence. And people were like, no, he said Hicks is the center. If you read both, listen to what he said.
Cashman's not going to tell you what he's doing. He never does.
Anything.
He never does. Anything. Cashman never tells anybody what he's doing. I saw somebody say, well, he's talked about Carlos Correa so much, he's going to get him.
Because you have to.
You have to. What
if anything, the talk about Carlos Correa would lead me to believe they're not going to sign him.
Right, exactly. Knowing Cashman well, that's kind of how it is.
To me, that's the talk about Carlos Correa, if anything, is to build leverage in the Seager negotiations.
They're going to end up trading for Alberto Mondesi any second, and then we're going to be like, what the hell happened? And that's it. Right. That's what's going to end up happening.
If they trade for young Adalberto Mondesi, I'm going to be at Yankee Stadium changing the lock so that he can't get in. No offense. Adalberto, mira, de lo mío, no offense. But you don't... You're not supposed to be over here right now.
I know you might. You think
you're not that guy,
but bro, you don't belong here. What are you doing?
You're not that guy. Turn around.
Back to Kansas City.
Tell the pilot to turn around.
You gotta look and go. St. Louis is that way.
Exactly. Like, you looking for the Mets? Oh, okay. Yeah, no. That's in Queens, Papa. That's in Queens.
Bro. You're in the wrong spot.
Yeah, nah. Just don't worry about it. Yeah, we send you in an Uber to Queens. Don't even trip.
That's Yankee Stadium.
Yankee, not Stadium. No. Not Lo Met. You thought City Field. No. Yeah. City Field. You looking for Uncle Stevie. I know.
Looking for Uncle Stevie.
The team that doesn't have a manager, coach. That's what. Yeah. That's in Queens
right now.
That's in Queens.
Crazy, man. So Tyler comes out with the super chat, and these are fun. We got 2 super chats in a row that are fun. That's really asking us if we would do something or if we think something's going to happen. The first one is from Tyler. Here's a good one. Everybody buckle up for this one.
Okay.
Brian Reynolds and Jacob Stallings for J.J. Domingue Oswald Peraza, Luis Medina, Yoendry Gomez, and Randy Vasquez. That's a big haul. That's a really big haul. But I want to give Tyler a shout out on one thing. Tyler, thank you for being realistic, bro. Thank you for being realistic. I'm going to say, you know how many people have messaged me and say, Peter, what do you think about Clint Frazier, Aaron Hicks, and 2 other prospects? Like, guys, are you mad? Like, come on. Like, stop. You guys, it gets me mad because I'm like, do you guys know 2 things real quickly about Brian Reynolds and Jacob Stallings? Brian Reynolds is one of the best young players in baseball, and he's controllable for years to come. Jacob Stallings is arguably the best defensive catcher in baseball, and he handles pitchers extremely well. That's valuable, guys. That's valuable. That's going to cost the Yankees a lot of schkarol. And not just money and prospects also. Do I do that trade specifically? I'll tell you what, Tyler. Man, you have my interest. I'd sit down and look it over. I'd really think about it. I'd pencil out some lineups. I like to know what else we're doing. Because now if somebody tells me this, well, we got Brian Reynolds coming. We got Jacob Stallings. We got center field and that covered. We're also signing Trevor Story and Robbie Ray. I'm doing that deal. I don't give a poop. I don't care about Jason Dominguez. And I love him. He's very, very raw. People get very confused about that. Let him develop. Oswald Peraza, I love him. I love this dude. I love Oswald Peraza. I traveled to see this guy this year. Okay, next year I'll be doing that for Volpe. I traveled to see him. I love Oswald. I would not be mad if the Yankees said we added all these other guys and Oswald Peraza is going to be our starting shortstop. You would see me on and be like, yeah, maybe we could have got more, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that ballsy move. That's a ballsy move I'm okay with. But Francis, if a GM approaches me, if Ben Cherington approaches me and says, hey, here's what we're looking at. This is what we would do. We'd actually do this. As long as I know we added these other pieces, whether it's a shortstop, along with us one starting pitcher even, bro, I'm doing that. I'm doing that all day. Now, if that was our offseason, that's a tough, I don't know. That I would still have to seriously consider, but I don't know if I would be as jumping up and down. But if you give me a starting pitcher, you give me the shortstop, you give me that, you're looking at a team Aaron Boone may not be able to mess up.
Yeah. Listen, I'll tell you like this. One, do I do the deal? I'm going to say yes.
Without anything? Without knowing anything?
It's a lot. It's a lot. The prospect capital that we're giving up is a lot. But I'm going to say yes. And here's why.
Is that without knowing anything?
What do you mean? Like without knowing whether I'm signing?
Yeah. Like for example, no. You would want to know the other moves that you're making also beforehand or have an idea.
Exactly. So that's where I'm going.
Me too.
Here's like I do this deal. Here's the caveat though. Like I do this deal knowing, okay, one, this probably precludes me from trading for Matt Olson because now to get Olson, the only things left that I have is Volpe. And I have to absolutely start any conversation about Olson with Volpe. And if I trade Volpe, Peraza, and Dominguez in the same offseason, I'm gutting the farm system. He mentioned Luis Hill too, right?
No.
Or Medina?
No, Luis Medina.
So Medina's gone.
Who I think will be better than Luis Hill, but we'll see.
Yeah, so I actually agree. I think if Medina figures out his control, like his stuff is even better. But now I know if I make this deal, I have Brian Reynolds and I have Jacob Stallings, right? Center field, I have an all-star center fielder, great freaking hitter, pure hitter. I have one of the best defensive gloves behind the plate who is literally about to take my rotation to the next level. It's not even funny. It's not even funny how good that rotation is about to be because of this cat. But I do know that chances are I'm not in the market for Olson anymore because that would mean now Medina's gone, Peraza's gone, Dominguez is gone. For Olson, now they want Volpe and Hill to start the conversation. If I do that, I'm gutting the farm system. I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know what I'm going to have. What if I need to make a trade in the middle of the year? I don't have any flexibility now. I don't have any big chips because I shot all my bullets in the winter. That's fine. Because I'll just sign Rizzo. I'll sign Rizzo.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll
Sign
bring Rizzo back on a deal that's, not, long term and nothing too expensive. And to me, Rizzo as a fallback option from Matt Olson is a phenomenal option.
Of course.
So I sign Rizzo. I don't sign one of the big shortstops. I don't sign Correa and I don't sign Corey Seager. But I go even harder for Trevor Story or Simeon.
Right.
Because of the kind of team that I'm putting together now. And what I do try to do is find a deal for Gleyber Torres that gets me back some prospect capital so that I can replenish a little bit of what I just lost in the deal to Pittsburgh.
And you could put DJ at his best position.
And I put DJ back at his best position.
That's all logical.
And Gio Urshela stays for another year, maybe
okay with
maybe two. But eventually,
maybe sign Donovan Solano.
But eventually,
like Solano,
exactly.
Can play the bench.
Exactly. So eventually, because of the moves I made this winter, now Gio in the back of my head has an official expiration date because I know where I'm going, and he's not going to be a part of it, but he's going to be here for now.
Yep.
And he might get a ring in one of these next 2 years because of the team we have right now. So I'm going to do right by him before moving on from him.
Yep.
But yeah, I definitely do that deal if I can follow it up with the moves that I just said.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree. And then Johnny,
it's like you said, bro.
Yeah.
My bad to cut you, but it's like you said, to be the Yankees GM this offseason.
It's a dream come true.
It's a lot of pressure or whatever, but it's like there's so many ways that you could go.
But how do you lose? That's my thing. Yeah. That's what I've been saying the whole. How do you lose in this offseason? So Johnny, I'm gonna get to your question now. That we'll answer some other ones there. Johnny says, do you think we land Olson? I'll start off. Johnny, I'm going to say yes. Let me tell you why I'm going to say yes. And I'm a pretty confident yes here. Would it shock me if they don't? No. Do I have anybody telling me right now they're going to sign Olson? No, I don't. Let me tell you why I believe they will. Brian Cashman makes trades with few teams. Oakland is one of them. They've done it before. He's comfortable with Bean. They have a good relationship. Very much, I can see the Yankees landing Olson. 2, they got the prospects to do it. That's not the problem. 3, it's an area of need. And it automatically makes your infield better, makes your team better. And let's also not forget, he's one of the best players in the game. So, yes, I think as of right now where I stand, I would be on the side of a yes. I think the Yankees, if Olson is traded, I'll say this. I think he is a Yankee.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I'm going to agree with you there, Pete. 100%.
Shout out to Killer Joe, too, for getting on that one first.
That's a fact. I will, 100% agree with you there, Pete. I think Olson is going to, the Olson deal is going to happen. I think it's going to be done for all the reasons that we've been saying already. It makes too much sense. And it's official. He's there to be had. I don't know how you miss out on a deal like this. Like when it's like, come on, man. Not going to cost you any money. It's like whatever. Like just go get the guy.
Yep.
And it covers you if you say you don't want. If you make a deal like Olson, there's a caveat to it where that kind of covers you now if you don't end up with Correa or Seager, because another thing as a result that you could say is, look, now we have this young first baseman superstar. We have Judge who we're extending. We had this, like, Olson's not here for 2 years. We want to re-sign. We want to extend him too. So that's why we didn't go and grab a $300 million short. Like, not saying that that's what they do, but now you can use that lip service.
Well, what we're doing here, that's why I love doing this live, is we're just going with the flow. We're going with what you guys are telling us, and we're building a scenario around it. As Chris Colon says, I say Francis for the Yankees' new GM. Right there, Chris.
Listen, man, I wish we could put a team together.
Damn, it's crazy because
Pete, get the NYY news team. Yo, we would be out there hitting the streets.
We talk about this all the time, and that's why I think, like, even when the season ended, we had that conversation. We're like, well, this offseason is the most important. I've been saying that for a minute now because
100%.
You don't. You just don't lose in this offseason. There's so many trades to make. You could go 12 different routes. You could have 7 different game plans and end up with a way better team than how you started in 2021. Literally, like, it's not even close how easy it is to do that. And that is the reason why I'm up in the air right now. I'm like, if Cashman screws this up, I don't know. And guys, look, I've seen, I think Talking Jake or whatever from John Boy put it out, and he had DJ Lowe. This is my team. You got DJ LeMahieu at third base. and catcher Gary Sanchez. I'm like, that is the worst you can get out of this offseason. That would be like the worst plan you can get. First of all,
because 3 of the 5 infield positions are bad.
Correct. And why even look, see, if I'm Hal Steinbrenner, let me tell you right now what I'm saying to Cashman. He comes in my room and shows me that. I'm saying, all right, here's the deal. We're not signing nobody then. I'm not wasting money. Just so you know, I'm the boss, one. I'm not wasting money. What are you doing? Guys, just so you know, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. I'm just saying that opinion is shit. And I retweeted it, and I said that opinion is shit, because it is. If you make all those changes to the Yankees, and you put DJ LeMahieu in his worst position, which is third base, and you still got Gary Sanchez behind the plate, I don't care what you do. It's not good enough.
Bro, listen. Oh, shout out to Ryan is in the building. Ryan Beck. Shouts out to Ryan, bro. Listen. Oh, and Joe's in the chat too somewhere. I saw Joe. Listen, what I want to say is this. And I'm laughing because it's like, I really have had it up to here with this. Any infield alineation that has DJ LeMahieu not at second base is going to perpetually irk my last nerve. Why? DJ LeMahieu is not 25. He's not 26. He's not 24. DJ LeMahieu is in his 30s. DJ LeMahieu needs to be in a position where he is going to be successful. Now, yes, DJ LeMahieu was signed as a super utility guy, and he is comfortable moving around. But what we think at this point is that we just signed him to a 6-year deal, all right? I don't think I signed him for 6 years so that he's going to be all over the place filling in. We signed him to 6 years because of the 2 years that he gave us. And those 2 years that he gave us, he was playing more often than not like second base, but he did move around to first and third. Yeah. That's true. But his best position is second base. By far. Why are we flirting with this idea of moving Gio, putting DJ at third, having Gleyber still at second, and Gary Sanchez still catching? That doesn't help us. Defensively, we didn't get better in the infield. The Yankees need to get better defensively, guys. This is not – I'm sorry. Like, this is not a place where I'm even willing to, like, debate, because I don't feel like – I don't see how you can make the debate that it's okay. Oh, because Gary Sanchez is still going to hit you 20-plus home runs. Who cares?
Yeah,
who cares?
That is the worst.
How many games is he going to lose us because he doesn't frame as well as the other catchers do in today's game? Because he doesn't move behind the plate well. How many and in the big games, is he even going to start in the big games? Well, the funniest thing about that post by Jake to me was that it was opening day, and that's a lie, because opening day Garrett Cole is pitching and Gary doesn't catch Garrett Cole. So I was like, this is already a lie.
But see, that is not, when people bring up production on Gary Sanchez, the first thing I say to them is this: but you got Gallo. You expect him to be more productive than Joey Gallo? I don't. He makes up for it. Whatever production you thought you got, Gallo makes up for it. Yeah. So I don't understand that. But 100%. Moving on. And
Gallo. Oh, one quick point about Gallo before we jump on. Gallo, defensively, I mean, just won a Gold Glove. But we know what he's going to do with his glove out there on the field. Offensively, yes, Gallo is not going to be a high average guy. Gallo is going to strike out a lot. That is true. But I was doing research last night after watching that Correa interview, because Correa spoke positively about Joey Gallo in a way that shocked me. And I was like, okay, let me look at it. And I went and looked. And Gallo, production-wise, right, look at on-base percent. Look at how many times he was getting on base in games, down the stretch, whatever. He got on base higher than, I would say, more than half of our lineup.
Right.
And he batted like 200. He batted 199.
Yeah.
And he was still getting on base at a higher clip than more than half of our lineup, including Gary Sanchez, Gleyber Torres, Gio Urshela, Aaron Hicks. Like,
hey,
so please miss me with the Gallo shit.
And for all the people too that talk shit about DJ LeMahieu, the Yankees were so bad he led them in hits. so I mean, everybody talks trash, but we got another super chat here from Mike M. He said, listen, if the Yanks end up with Story because they didn't want to spend big, then it's what it is. But if cash gets the green light and money is close, I'd be upset if they don't sign Seager over Correa. Defense matters.
He said Seager over Correa because
He would be upset if they signed Seager over Correa. He thinks if they do spend the money, which I think we've said that too before, that if
we've
they really
said that.
do spend the money, Correa is the guy to spend the money on.
If you're going to listen, my point with that is actually short for once. If you're going to go to 300 million, then pay Correa. Pay Correa. If you're gonna be in that stratosphere anyway, just go and get the best. That's it. Like that's where I fall on it.
I agree.
If you're gonna spend that kind of money, anyway, like just go and get Correa. How much? I guess the question, and I'd love to see what some of you guys' responses is in the chat. How far away in terms of years and dollars do you guys think Correa and Seager are going to be? Because I don't think
it could be 10 to 15 to 20 million, maybe less.
I would say 20 million max, and most of the insiders are projecting 20 million max. Bowden has them at a 20 million gap.
Bowden's never right.
He's the only one though.
I think he's never right ever.
No, he's
right.
I think he's off with Correa and Seager. He has Seager getting more money than Correa. I don't see that.
I think I've said it before. I don't know if maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm nuts. When somebody told me early on that he's getting 300 plus million, I said, isn't he like 275? I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what warrants him getting 300 million. Is it his age? Seager. I mean, the same thing with Correa. I'm sorry. Yes, you're basing it off of potential, though. I know these guys are good, but you're basing it off of potential. People want to talk trash about Aaron Judge. Don't sign him because he's older and he's injury prone. He's played more games than both of them.
Yeah, Aaron Judge is interesting. I guess I'll save that point because I'd like to talk about.
Maybe I'm confusing all this money stuff because Francis, me and you have had a back and forth even about Verlander. Because I don't expect. Yeah. I think you're nuts. Like somebody said, they're gonna. Well, would you be happy if somebody did say this? I forgot who it was, so I apologize. But I did see the question. Somebody said, would you be happy if they signed Verlander to a 2-year, $40 million deal? No, I'd be on here right now telling you I'm pissed out my mind. It's stupid. Yeah. My man hasn't pitched in 2019. Since 2019, he's coming off surgery. He's 38 years old. He pitched with spider tack. Why would you give that dude $20 million a year? You got to be out your friggin' mind.
So here's the deal. Starting from back with the shortstop.
Francis laughs at me, guys. $12 million.
No, guys, this is I know some of you are gonna think he's joking. Pete is dead ass.
I'm not joking.
He's not giving Verlander more than 12 million.
No, look. I would give him more, but it has to be severely incentive based. I am not guaranteeing that dude anything.
Yeah, there you go.
Look,
he won't guarantee.
We don't know
him
who
more
Garrett
than
Cole is. Garrett Cole's healthy without spider tack. My dude is injured, and we don't know who he is. You're getting an unknown rider. You can say, "Oh, I won the Cy Young in 2019." Yeah, okay. And I've done many things 2 years ago too that I might not be able to do today. So what? Well, what does that do for me?
Yeah,
nothing. I don't care.
So here's the thing, right? When it comes to the money, and I'm speaking from a place, guys, of somebody who's like been studying this salary thing for like, I don't know. I want to say some like 2012 when I really got interested in it or whatever. When was the Jacoby? When was Jacoby juice? When did we sign Jacoby?
Oh God, I don't even want to remember.
When was that? It was like, because I had really gotten into like baseball salaries and things like that about a year or two before we signed Jacoby Ellsbury.
Jacoby Ellsbury was signed by the New York Yankees in 2014. I was going to say 2014.
2014. So then I was right. 2012. I've been doing this since 2012. Right? What happens with the contracts, guys, is very simple. Right? The market is set early on, depending on your player comparison, that is where the market gets set at for you. Then a couple things can change that, right? So I'm going to elaborate on so you guys can understand me because it's difficult to understand. The reason that the market for Carlos Correa and Corey Seager is starting at that crazy number of 300 million is because the Mets were crazy enough to sign Francisco Lindor for 341 million. It's because San Diego extended Tatis for I want to get this number right. Tatis is
what do you got? A 10-year deal, didn't he? Or more than that?
Yeah. Tatis signed a 14-year, $340 million extension.
Oh okay. My God.
So what happens? See, what we don't see when this happens, like, and I was one of the people out there. Fernando Tatis got extended. I was like, hey man, congrats, get your money or whatever. But guys, like, open your eyes, because this is gonna send shockwaves through the industry. When you sign a kid who hasn't proven, and Tatis is great, so please don't misunderstand me, but Tatis hasn't won an MVP. Tatis hasn't won a World Series ring. Right. Tatis hasn't had a crazy, like, you know what I mean, like a crazy postseason run. And when I say crazy postseason run, I'm not talking about a wild card game or a NLDS. I mean an NLDS, NLCS, and a couple good games in the World Series. Like, I mean something like that. Tatis hasn't even been to a World Series. Like, he got extended because of what they imagine he's going to do as a player and what they know for sure he's going to do in terms of like sales and stuff.
Right.
But $340 million for him, $341 million for Francisco Lindor. It just shows you what's happening with the market. Lindor got $341 million for the sole purpose of being able to say he got more than Fernando Tatis.
Facts.
Now
Facts.
you guys might think, no, that's just something people say. No. That is 100% a fact.
Yeah, of course.
$341 million is not a round figure. He literally made the Mets go to 341 so that he could get $1 more million than Tatis, and he could be the highest shortstop.
Yep.
So if you think for 1 second that Carlos Correa and his group, the Rosen group, is going to sit back and say that they're not trying to get at least 342, we have another thing coming.
No question about it. That's a win. That's a win for the agency too.
Exactly.
They signed the largest contract ever at that position. That's
exactly.
huge.
Exactly. And this is why I keep telling people, like, with Juan Soto, like, as much as we, like, some people hate him, they think he's a ven or whatever with Boris or whatever. Boris is already planning to make Juan Soto the first $500 million contract. You guys might think that sounds absolutely crazy.
No, it doesn't.
It's not. Lindor is a great player, switch hitting shortstop, you know, saying nice smile, looks good in the jersey. He's good for commercials. He's good for advertising. He checks all the boxes you want, right? Been to the playoffs, been there, done that.
Yep.
Clutch a little bit. $341 million was a lot of money for him. It was a lot of money for him. But they had to go there,
and it set a standard
because they had to go there because Tatis got it.
Yep.
And then the Mets got suckered into it because he was there and he gave them a deadline, and they didn't have the proper leadership kind of negotiating that deal, and they folded. They felt the pressure of the fans. They felt the pressure of everybody, and they said, oh my God, we traded for this guy. We gave up Ahmed Rosario, whatever, and now we're going to risk losing him, and he's going to go to that crazy market of shortstops next year, and then anything can happen. You know what? 341, fine, give it to him. Yeah. Well, now the repercussions of that is that Corey Seager is going to want $300 million. Of course. And who are we to say that he can't get $300 million when Francisco Lindor is sitting there with 341? True. Can you argue, like, compare?
It's the market.
That's
the market.
all they're gonna do. The
You're
market.
Right. I mean, it's all about the market. You're 100% right.
Now, does that mean that I agree with the money that they get? No.
Of course not.
I fall on the same side of the coin that Pete does. I think a lot of these contracts are blown with. I love Garrett Cole. I think that Garrett Cole contract is absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Of course it is.
We're paying pitchers. We pay Garrett Cole $36 million a year now, and he plays every 5 days. Like,
it's crazy.
Is Garrett? But here's the thing. If you ask me, so you wouldn't have signed Garrett Cole to that deal? No. I would have signed him to that deal 10 times out of 10. Why? Because that was the only way to get him, and we needed him.
Yeah, of course.
So, but what I'm saying,
and he was going to get it by somebody. So it wasn't like you're blowing somebody out the water. Somebody was giving it.
If we didn't give him the 300 or whatever, 46 minute, whatever, Art Moreno in LA was going to give him 350 or 360. Facts. It was going to happen. So that's why I say, would I sign a deal 10 times? Of course, 10 times out of 10, I signed it. Why? Because we needed Garrett Cole. He's supposed to be here. And I still believe he's going to be a part of a championship winning New York Yankees team. So I pay him. What I'm saying is that these numbers have gotten inflated and blown completely out of proportion. And that's why we're in a situation where whether you think Corey Seager is worth $300 million or not, whether you think that Correa is worth $300 million or not, is all secondary, because their agents and the Players Association. Because if you guys think you hate Scott Boras,
they're the worst. The Players Association, they're not going to make him sign a contract bad.
You think you hate Scott Boras. You don't even realize the guy you really hate is Tony Clark.
Because one thing I love that fans say is, well, maybe they'll just give a discount. No.
There's no such thing.
They don't do things like that.
Let me tell you something right now.
If the market value is something, and they looked at, I want to take this deal as a lot. Nah, it don't work that way.
Guys,
it don't work that way. That's true.
Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, Aaron Judge has come out on several interviews, and even in his most recent interview, and say, I want to be a Yankee. I want to finish my career. Like, I want to be a career Yankee.
Let them offer him $150 million. See what happens.
Let me tell you right now, if the Yankees come low on an extension offer or an offer in free agency, Tony Clark will die before he allows Aaron freaking Judge to sign a lowball deal to stay on the New York Yankees. Are you kidding me?
I say, Aaron, we already bought your trip to San Francisco. You're out.
He's like, bro, because what they're telling the players is, and the players are believing it, but it's not necessarily true. And I'll tell you why after. What they're telling the players is, if you, Aaron Judge, who's one of the top 5 best players in the game, top three in some circles, if you take a pay cut on your extension just because you're 30 and had a couple of nicks here and there, what's going to happen to guys like Michael Conforto?
Yeah, that's right.
What's going to happen to guys like Byron Buck? What's going to happen to these other guys who
Cats
maybe
are talking about Conforto getting $20+ million a year? So,
Conforto, guys, Conforto might very well turn. I think if I had to,
he might be a real sleeper too. If
I had to guess, Conforto qualifying offer decision, I think Conforto turns it down and goes out and gets a deal for multiple years, making an amount of money that I would have been shocked if you would have told me he was going to make that amount of money.
Yeah.
But because the market is where it is, you want to look at a good barometer for Michael Conforto. Do you guys remember the Pollock deal to the Dodgers?
Yeah. AJ Pollock.
Do you remember that contract?
Yep, I do.
4 years, $55 million.
Yep.
Right? That's an average of almost $14 million a year for Pollock. Pollock had a very spotty injury history and whatever, and the Dodgers were willing to give him almost $14 million a year over 5. Conforto's younger, doesn't have the injury thing. I mean, been to the playoffs, got a little bit. Is he one of the top? Would you name him as one of your top 10 outfielders? I probably wouldn't.
No. And Pollock at the end of the day, he had the injuries, but he had a good year. He was worth it. I mean, he was worth it. 3.1 WAR, 297. He hit 21 homers and only 384 at bats. Guy could hit 50 home runs last year.
The reason that I bring up the Pollock deal is to tell you.
Yeah, right. I know exactly what you mean.
Conforto is about to make that Pollock deal look like a steal.
Likely.
And people didn't like that deal when it happened. They're like, "Oh, you're gonna give him a 5-year deal?" Watch when we see what Conforto gets. There's people out there who will pay him. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of people in the market for center fielders right now. And whoever strikes out on Marte is gonna pivot more likely than not to Michael Conforto.
Facts. So moving on, we have a couple of super chats here. Anthony Medina, our good friend. Hey, guys, do you think if the Yankees traded for Reynolds, would it pretty much eliminate them from getting Olson? Yes, I agree. Dumb question, but only just saying. It's never a dumb question, my man, and I would say yes. I don't think they would be able to get both of them. I think that would be like France was talking about. Maybe you go for it and you gut everything and look to win in the next 2 years, but I definitely don't see the Yankees doing that.
Listen, would I still try to do it? Yes.
Yeah, of course.
One, I don't have experience as a GM. So say I was a GM this year, I would be willing to play a little bit more risky because I'm new. I'm not seasoned. I don't have a legacy to ruin. I'm new. I'm cutting my teeth in the industry. If I was the GM of the Yankees right now, I would be trying, instead of even talking to Scott Boras and the Rosen group about Corey Seager and Trevor and Carlos Correa, I'd be more interested right now in trading for Reynolds and Stallings and Matt Olson and gutting my farm and seeing.
Francis, let me throw this out
there. Go ahead. Yeah.
You might be able to keep Anthony Volpe.
You're right.
Gleyber Torres.
You're right. So here's
if you could start a deal with Gleyber Torres, and let me throw something else out there. No, Jordan Montgomery probably not, because he's going to have to be re-signed soon, so I don't see that happening. But you could start that with maybe looking at Olson. Hey, we're already giving you Gleyber Torres. Domingo Germán could pitch for you for a couple of years.
And he's cheap.
Depending on who we don't give up, is there a possibility of Austin Wells? I mean, you'll have the capital to do a deal.
So here's my thing, and that's why I'm saying I personally would feel like you can do this deal. You just need to be. You need to think outside of the box, right?
And you got to be
With
willing to take the heat, right? You'll have to be willing to take that heat and answer why. So you got to be ready to say, this is why I did it.
Exactly. And that's why I say I would do this deal, because I don't have a legacy that I can ruin. I'm a new GM. I'm just showing up here. So that deal that was sent to us, you're talking about, oh, we're giving up Medina. We're giving up Yoendris. We're giving up Jason Dominguez. We're giving up Peraza. For Brian Reynolds and Jacob Stallings, sign. Where do I sign? Send them. Send them. Get them on the plane right now.
Let me just say this too real quick before I get to the next chats there, the next super chats and all the other guys out there. When it comes to catcher, people really, really forget how important defense is. And I think Gary Sanchez is kind of, no knock on him, but people really forget the difference that a good catcher can make on a ball club. I'm not joking when I tell you guys this. Jacob Stallings alone would make the Yankees way better than they were in 2021. I'm not joking when I say that.
They have no
Jacob,
idea.
I just wish. And look, that's our job here to do. I'm not saying we're smarter than everybody else, but we have a platform. So for the people who don't understand that, I challenge you to open your mind up, go watch highlights, look at what these guys do. Remember what you watched over the last couple of years. Jacob Stallings would never be benched because a pitcher doesn't want to throw to him. Jacob Stallings will block balls. Guys can throw the ball in the dirt and feel very comfortable doing so. That is super important. He also, I think he has like the best frame rate in baseball too.
He stole more strikes.
Stole more strikes than I think anybody in the league.
Stole more strikes than anybody in
No
baseball.
passed balls. None. I'm not saying he'll do that again because, once he has one or two, oh my God. It's hard to do. But to go a whole season and have no passed balls, do you know how friggin' good you got to be? The Yankee, and by the way, too, I think he's like 6'5", which is very rare for a catcher. He's really big. But he would greatly improve the club. So getting off it, that's the thing you got to think about Gary Sanchez. But Tyler Pearson says, much love from Canada. Appreciate the continued honesty and raw content. Guy, hey, Tyler, man, we appreciate that. And I'm happy that you guys are recognizing it because that's all we do here. That's literally what NY News is about. LI Yankee King with the super chat. I'll say this, Brian Cashman will screw this up because he's a bottom 5 GM and everything I've said since 2018 will be right. I hope I'm wrong. Francis, I'm going to let you take that one.
All right. I'm bottom 5 GM is a little bit crazy. Because,
I actually disagree. And I've been very critical. He's not a bottom 5 GM. But
yeah,
he's not one. I don't think he's one of the best. I don't think he's one of the best. But
right
he
now,
he is
yeah,
good.
Right now, I think there's a lot more better GMs than Cashman than there were in the early 2000s and things like that. But bottom 5 is rough. All right, the Mets are about to hire a guy who was like an assistant GM a couple years back. Like that to me, that's bottom 5. This is Brian Cashman. Like this is the same guy who had one of the better deadlines this year, right? So I'm not gonna say he's bottom 5. And can Cashman fuck this up this offseason? 100%. 100%. It's a possibility. Again, like I said, when we did our first episode after the season was over for the Yankees, I feel optimistic that that he doesn't screw this up because it's so easy not to screw it up this offseason.
Hey, can I jump in real quick with something?
Yeah.
So, what I've been telling you guys a lot about when it comes to the $300 million, Francis, I'm going to tell you off the record who this person is. Just got a message, and they said directly, and this is somebody you guys, everybody in this room would knows his shit, okay? I'm sure they do not want to sign a shortstop for $300 million. Okay? Yeah. Francis, I'm going to tell you when we get offline. I don't have permission to tell it from this person because they are involved pretty highly, were and still are. So I'll stop it at that. But that is now 4 people who have told me that they will not sign somebody with $300 million. Now, again, this is not Pete saying that that's going to happen. I'm reporting on what I'm being told, and that's another one I'm being told. So that's it again.
Listen, guys, here's the thing, and I know
just got it just now.
I know people aren't excited to hear that, but to play devil's advocate, if you will, right? The Yankees already have the big contracts of Garrett Cole and Giancarlo Stanton on the payroll. They also, unfortunately, are still paying around $30 million for 2 relievers. They pay Aaron Hicks $10 million a year. They pay Severino, I think, another $10 million a year. Like, this is all before they have extended Aaron Judge an extension offer or signed him in free agency after next year. This is all while still having a team that needs a first baseman, needs a shortstop, needs an upgrade in center field and catcher, right? Mm-hmm. A team that also has a left fielder in Joey Gallo, who's a free agent after this year. So when you factor all of that in, what does that tell you? That tells you that you do need financial flexibility, even if you're the New York Yankees. That doesn't mean that the Yankees aren't going to raise their payroll up to 250, 260, 270, 280, even 290. That doesn't mean that. There's a lot of people who, when they heard, oh, they don't want to sign another $300 million deal. Oh, that means that they want to stay under the luxury tax again. No, these are two different things. The luxury tax thing is cumulative of all the contracts that you have on your roster, right? A $300 million contract is for one player. What Hal says, if he is indeed saying, I don't want to sign another $300 million deal, what he's indeed saying is, I don't want to be committing $30 million to another guy right now.
Correct.
Because I already commit 36 to Garrett. I already commit almost 30 to Giancarlo. I'm already committing another 30 to 2 relievers.
And he's also 20. Apparently a big Judge fan, so that he wants Judge to stay there for the long term.
Exactly. Well, listen,
he would basically. The thing about Hal Steinbrenner, everything I've heard and everything I've been told, I was told, I think during midseason when I put that video out, literally the person told me if you asked him right now to write out the 25-man roster, he wouldn't be able to do it. So that's his interest in the day-to-day operations of this ball club. Mm-hmm. But when you're a fan of a player, and he's a fan of Aaron Judge, that's the one thing I hear about a lot, that he really likes Aaron Judge and he wants to lock him up long term. He has a invested interest in possibly giving something like that to Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
When he wouldn't have that with a Carlos Correa or somebody else right now.
Well, listen, God, that's another point, right? Because when you add up all that money that I was just saying they already have committed, they still haven't signed Judge to his deal. And though we've been critical about the fact that they haven't started those extension talks and things like that or whatever, make no mistake about it, we do believe that the Yankees are going to be in on Aaron Judge and try to keep him long term.
Of course.
Guys, the only thing, like, it's not really hard to see. The only thing you have to do is look at right field. Like, the whole Judge's chambers, things or whatever. Look at how long Jeter was a Yankee. They never put there wasn't a section in the seats called the captain's corner or something like that. Like, for the Yankees to go and do what they did in right field for Aaron Judge, that was a huge, huge thing. That was very un-Yankee-like. I was really surprised when I saw that happen. And I said, whoa, they really are crazy about this kid. So that all says to me that they are going to try and keep this guy, especially if Hal says, I don't care what you do, that's my guy. He needs to be on this team. That means that they could end up even overpaying for Judge if they had to, because they got to keep him. They got to keep him. So, yeah, maybe they can't afford to pay a shortstop $30 million, $32 million a year.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But
maybe that means.
But yeah. Francis, look, I mean, the thing at the end of the day is, you can still win. You know what I mean? That's why I said that. And I know somebody said recently, Pete, you repeat yourself a lot. I'm not trying to repeat myself so much, but this is the off season to lose out on a big guy. This is it. And I hate saying it because that's not the Yankee way, and I get it.
Of course not.
It's not. I get it. But if you're going to ever do it, this is the season to do it, because you can still make a lot of that money. You can still sign a lot of these big guys. I understand that the fear, because look, at the end of the day, too, you know, we could talk about money all day, but we also remember there got to be the fear of how many years you're committing to somebody here. Correa's going to get, what do you think, 8 years minimum?
Correa signs between 10 and 12 years.
And maybe he has an opt-out after 3 years. Or 2.
Yeah.
You never know. 3, 4, maybe. And, I mean, you think 6, 7, 8 around there. I think the same thing for Seager. 6, 7, or 8. That's a big commitment to somebody. That's a big commitment.
Listen, Carlos Correa just turned 27. Carlos Correa is going to get 10 years or more.
Facts, no doubt about it.
I think Corey Seager. I think Corey Seager is only like a year older than Correa at 28. So he's another one who's going to get 10 years, maybe another year or something like that. These are 10-year contracts. Listen, I will tell you guys this. If I had, you know, my way, the Yankees sign Carlos Correa, and the reason behind it is because he's the best shortstop there.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best shortstop there, and I don't believe that Cashman is going to make the amount of trades that it would take for me to be like, oh, I'm cool, like, you know, not getting the best shortstop out there or whatever, because I just don't see Cashman doing that, because he's been a prospect hugger for as long as we've seen him. But that could all be different now. We don't, like, I don't know. Maybe some of the stuff that he's been saying in these interviews is true. Like maybe they are going in a different direction. I don't know. We'll see.
The actions are going to tell us.
All
like I
remains
said,
to be
some
seen.
of the moves, look, I think a lot of it's going to tell us too when they start non-tendering guys. I think that's going to be a real bright spot of being like, this is the route this team's taking. You know what I mean? If you see them bring Gary back and they come out and just like, you know, Gary's going to be our starting catcher. Immediately right there, I'm like, guys, pack it in. Go home. I'm telling you guys right now, I've said this again. Gary Sanchez is your starting catcher. This team's not serious about winning. And you can't convince me. You can say all damn day that you want, oh, Petey get hit. I don't give a shit. He can't catch. That's not going to change. He's not going to become he's not going to become a Gold Glove catcher overnight. He's not going to do it. He's never going to be that. He's never going to be that. You don't need
the offense from that position.
This team is begging for a very good defensive catcher. It will make them so much better. Your head would spin. That's how much better this team would come if you just did that alone. Olson, or Rizzo. Sorry, I just want to get a lot of these other questions in here.
Oh, for sure.
Story, Olson, or Rizzo. Who would we choose out of those three? Olson.
Yeah, if I had to
choose. Olson for many different reasons. Let me tell you why. He's going to be cheap. And the reason why, I know we're the Yankees, but hear me out. If you don't spend the money elsewhere, you got to spend it somewhere. They're going to spend money. They're going to sign somebody. John Gray, maybe. Gosman, Marte. There's a lot of different routes you can take. With that being said, there's a lot of different routes you could take. Roberto Perez.
It's true.
You know what I mean? There's another catcher out there that's from Richard just said that I'll sign Roberto Perez instead of Yan Gomes. But even Yan Gomes or Roberto Perez, those are two catchers. Yeah, people will see the 197 average on Perez and cry, but he's amazing defensively. And he works great with guys.
I mean, what was Gary's average?
Yeah, well, people forget that. People still think he's an all-star, apparently. Will says, Story worries me away from Coors. Well, it was the same thing with DJ LeMahieu, and look at that turned out. Look, guys, a ball player is a ball player. Todd Helton was going to hit anywhere. A good hitter is going to hit anywhere. You know what I mean? Carlos Gonzalez, when he was healthy, hit anywhere. Nolan Arenado, DJ LeMahieu. Guys, good hitters are going to hit baseballs. Doesn't matter where they play. Does it help? Yeah, of course it helps. But it's not going to make the world of a difference.
Listen, I'll tell you guys like this. For me, most importantly, is not the most important position right now this off season is not even necessarily shortstop.
It's not at all. It's one of the least.
Some people think I'm crazy to say that, but what I'm saying is because there are so many options at shortstop, it doesn't require as much focus and attention because it's really hard to screw up in signing any of these guys.
That's right.
You're not. Right. It's like, oh, we ended up with Seager instead of Correa. Seager's freaking amazing. Oh, we ended up with Semien instead of Seager or Correa. Semien's freaking amazing. Oh no, we ended up with Story instead of all the other guys. Stories are made. Oh,
Guys.
we just got Javi Baez.
Here's how we'll be mad.
I mean,
we'll be mad if they sign Andrelton Simmons. Then
exactly.
we have beef.
That'll piss me the fuck off.
Bro,
that will,
then, Then we have beef. If that were to
yeah.
happen, we got a legitimate beef to be like, all right, you guys had all this shit, you didn't do nothing? You mean to tell me you couldn't get one of these 5? You couldn't do it, fam.
You went and got Simmons.
You got Simmons? You literally told us, look, no, we packing it in early. Forget what? Nah,
They said
man,
make
come
your vacation plans for the end of September.
See, Jim Duggan in the chat. Jim was actually the guy who was like, "You guys aren't changing anything. You know, you're just gonna go on Twitch." You were wrong about that, Jim, and you're also wrong about this. We don't have a shortstop. What are you talking about? That is the main. No, it's not. It's not the main position because, like Francis just said, you got so many options. If you miss out on Correa, who cares if you get Story? If you miss it on Story, who cares if you get Simeon? If you miss it on Simeon, who cares if you get Baez? You have options there.
The point that Jim, the point that we're trying to make here is that shortstop has more options than the other holes in our line.
Okay, yeah, look at catcher.
To get better at catcher, that's a little bit trickier this offseason. Why? Because the number one guys that you want, you have to trade for. A guy like Stallings, a guy like Carson Kelly, they're gonna cost.
Yeah, trade.
If you sign one of these guys out there,
all those guys you got to trade for.
They're gonna cost. You got to trade for them. They're gonna cost, and that wouldn't be a problem if you already had your first baseman, but you don't have your first baseman.
Correct.
At first base, you know that if you're moving off of Luke Voit there, then you need to get a guy like first base is not a position where you can sacrifice the offense, but you also cannot sacrifice the defense, contrary to popular belief, especially not when you have guys in the infield like Gleyber Torres. So first base either needs to be Matt Olson or Anthony Rizzo. The fan base will accept nothing less than those two guys. Right. If DJ LeMahieu is a starting first baseman or Luke Voit by some stretch of the imagination is the first baseman next year, that is a huge failure.
Can I say one thing about that? So can I give a different opinion on that?
Sure.
I have actually been on the favor side of if DJ LeMahieu does play somewhere else, let it be first base, but you got to upgrade everywhere else. That has to be like your guys. Here's the reasoning we did this. Because, again, let's bullshit, right?
Yeah.
We got a great shortstop, and we also got Matt Chapman at third base. And then we also got Starlin Marte in center field, and we added Robbie Ray. So with all that being said, we understand we're taking a little bit of a hit at first base, but let me say this too. I actually think DJ LeMahieu will be better at first than people think. He actually grades as his second best position at first base, based off analytics and all that. But would I be upset if somebody were to tell me right now that's going to happen? Yeah, of course. Because that is not the best club they could put on the field.
Yeah, no, listen.
But just to give a different opinion.
No. Listen, if DJ is at first, but we upgraded at third, short, and second.
And center field.
And catcher,
or 3 of those 4, or 3 of those 5, even.
Then so be it.
I may be okay with that. Yeah, I may be okay with that. It.
But what I'm saying right now is like, look, it's a lot harder to get it wrong at shortstop than it is at first base, catcher, center field right now, because there's a lot of different things you can do at shortstop. At center field, there's a limited number of things that are available to the Yankees at center field right now. Either we sign Starling Marte, or maybe take a look at Conforto, or really take a long, hard look. Me.
Conforto would never shock me.
Conforto wouldn't shock me either. A lot of people are overlooking him because they're like,
want to know why?
Like, the Mets or whatever.
You want to know why he wouldn't shock me? Let's not forget who's running the Yankees, the analytical department, and analytics love Michael Conforto.
They think he's going to have a huge bounce back.
That wouldn't shock me one bit. And I got to answer a question here. Joseph, I love you, but I got to answer this question. He said, not our Joe. This is Joseph. I understand. No, I didn't say killer. I understand your feelings on Sanchez. I feel that way about Torres. But you always get scared when you see a but. We won 92 games with Gary at the bottom of the lineup. Fam, this is the problem. You're only thinking about offense. Defense is friggin' important. I want to shout out Christian, too, from the NYYST podcast. He said the other day on Twitter, he's amazed by how many people think you could put anybody at first base. Why do you guys not care about defense and think that doesn't win you games?
Because they've been watching and fans of a team that hasn't cared about defense.
And on top of it, it's like Pop says. I love when Pop says this, right? Pops always tells me this. I'll call Pops and I say, yeah, people always just, talk about production for Gary. And he says this, what production? What can't they not make up with another guy that Gary Sanchez gives? All they got to make up is a couple of homers.
This is what I'm saying. What people don't realize is Gary hit 20-plus homers this year. If we get Matt Olson and sign Trevor at shortstop or Simeon at shortstop, we just doubled Sanchez's home runs
but even if you
with
look at
better defense and better contact and lower strikeout rates. If you look at the start of
2021, I always bring this up. You already did that with Joey Gallo. They already did it. He wasn't part of the plan.
But the thing with fans is this, Peter, and this I had to call you by your government just to get this point out. They've been fans of a team that hasn't cared about defense for over a decade. That's why they don't care about defense. It's simple as that. Yeah. That's why they don't care about defense. Because think about it. This was a team that was putting Miguel Andujar and Clint Frazier in left field and telling us that was okay. This was a team that moved Gio to shortstop at the end of the year and told us that was okay. This is a team that has played DJ at third base and told us that was okay. This is a team that had Gleyber Torres as our starting shortstop and thought that was okay. They put Odor at third base, told us that was okay. They had Gary Sanchez catching and tell us that is okay. That's why they think it's okay. But the truth of the matter is it's not okay just because the Yankees do it.
Facts. Justin, can you put that again in the chat, this time in all capital letters, because I think I want everybody to see this. Your up-the-middle defense has to be elite.
That's what I've been saying.
And guys,
that's what I've been saying. Justin, good looks. I've been saying that.
The Yankees have the opportunity. You got one of the best defensive second basemen in baseball in the club already, DJ LeMahieu. You have the chance to sign Trevor Story, Correa, who I think are the two best defensive-minded of the group.
Yeah.
And then you got a center fielder potentially in Aaron Hicks, if he doesn't play every day, and also potentially Estevan Florial, we know how good he is offensively, but you also got the option of Starlin Marte if you get Trevor Story. Let me tell you something. I'm going to go right up the middle for you. If I'm Brian Cashman, I'm sitting in a room and I'm saying, okay, Mr. Steinbrenner, you're the boss. You're the owner of this club. By all means, I'll see if these guys will sign for under 3, and we'll go with that route. If not, I want to present something to you. I'm going to just stay up the middle. I'm going to stay at catcher, shortstop, and center field. Actually, Justin, just because you said that's so good, I'm going to go with exactly what you said, and I'm going to teach you guys something here. Ready for this? And Justin just did it, and he added the things I need. Second base, catcher, shortstop, and center field. I'm Brian Cashman. I go to Steinbrenner. I say, all right, $300 million is not going to happen. No problem. We'll see what we can do. But, hey, Hal, Mr. George, son of George. No, your father, George. What the hell am I saying? Shut the hell up, Pete. Keep moving. This is what that guy's probably talking about. I never get to my point. Let me get to my point. My daughter does the same thing, too. It's pretty funny. Catcher. Here, listen to me now. I'm going to go out there and trade for Jacob Stallings, who is going to cost a good prospect and maybe Oswaldo Cabrera. A good pitching prospect and Oswaldo Cabrera. Great. Go do it. Jacob Stallings. Shortstop, I'm going to sign Trevor Story to maybe 165. We'll go a little high. 165. I'll throw it out there. Maybe that's it. Who the hell knows? I don't even care at this point. I'm not even talking about first base, but we have an opportunity to trade Gleyber Torres. I'm putting DJ LeMahieu at second base. And I'm signing Starlin Marte in center field. Name me a team that got a better up the middle. I'll wait patiently. You're not going to find one. I'll give you a spoiler alert right now. You're not going to find one. Defense-wise, offense-wise, talent-wise, you are not going to find. And look, if the Yankees came out and only did that, and again, there's other moves. You know, you trade Gleyber for something. Maybe Olson and a few other guys. You got Olson at first. You could sign maybe Robbie Ray. Maybe you could sign a John Gray. Maybe a Gaussman on the market. Maybe you could trade for a starter. But I'm not even going. I'm talking up the middle. If that is your backup plan or even your 1A, I wouldn't be mad at all. That is a tremendous get.
Hell yeah.
And it makes all the sense in the world. Can anybody really in the comments section sit there and be like, Pete, you're wrong on that?
No. Come on, guys. Look, what we're talking about here is that defense is super important. Look, I watched an interview with Carlos Correa last night. It's about an hour long. And for like 45 minutes, they're just talking about defense. Carlos Correa is talking about defense and why it's so important and why you need elite people, why you need people who are looking at their numbers every week. Or
who does he mention, by the way, France? I know
he mentioned, yeah. He mentioned, and listen to the guys that he mentions. At catcher, they just brought up the catcher position. The first name out of his mouth was Jacob Stallings. The next words out of his mouth was that he never even really got to see the guy. But he knew that the guy was elite because he was on every website that gives you the analytical breakdown of people's performance. And he and the team's catcher, Maldonado, were like, this guy's playing out of his mind. They weren't talking about offense. They were looking at his defensive metrics on the Pirates, a team that lost a ridiculous amount of games, but they were looking at him because they were like, this guy is excelling defensively. He's a problem. Like, this guy's really having a great freaking year. To the point where the host of the interview is getting upset because he's like, oh, but they robbed Yadier Molina. Yadier should have got it. Of course, Correa's Puerto Rican. The host of the show is Puerto Rican. They're talking about, whatever. So there was this whole thing. It's like, Yadi, Yadi's the Puerto Rican guy. He's one of their big guys. He's one of the big legends. I get it. But Carlos says, listen, I feel you. I love Yadi too. But these numbers don't lie. This Jacob Stallings kid played out of his mind this year. This guy was elite. And he said it several times. Speaking about defense, you know who else he brought up? He brought up Joey Gallo because the guy was like, but how's that fair? Joey Gallo, he was playing right field, but then he got to the Yankees and he wasn't in right field anymore because they had Judge. So how does he win the Gold Glove for right field? Whatever. He said he played more than half of his games in right field. And regardless of where he was on the field, he was a plus glove. He deserved it. I was like, I can't argue with that. He's right. Mm-hmm. He's right. He said, why is defense so important? Why was winning the Gold Glove so important to him this year? He said he didn't get it last year. He looked. He wanted to see why he didn't get it because according to all the stats that he knew, he was the number one guy. He went and found out that there were different things. There was like UZR. There was things that, determined the range that you have and how many more plays above average and things like that. He went, studied it, understood it and said, okay, so I have to do this, this, and this to ensure that I win the Gold Glove this year. Not only did he win the Gold Glove, he won the freaking Platinum Glove.
Facts, right.
Why do you think he cares about that? He's already one of the better hitters in the league today. He's already one of the more clutch hitters in the postseason today. Why does it matter? Well, because I'll tell you why it matters. In his words, the defense wins the championship. The defense wins the championship. You cannot be giving away outs and runs because of poor defense. That's in the words of one of the biggest free agents right now. He says that if you're not one of my favorite quotes from that interview, he says, I see a lot of guys, they go to practice and they're going half speed, maybe 25% speed, right? They're taking 6 seconds to throw the ball in practice. He said the average baseball player gets down the line in 4.3 seconds. If you're practicing throwing the ball at 6 seconds in the game, you have to rush it 2 seconds more. Why practice 2 seconds slower than you need to have it for the game? No.
You're practicing to lose, basically.
He said, I practice at game speed and I make everybody around me practice at game speed because we're not practicing to play the game like we practice. We're practicing the way that we play the game. And I was like, this guy gets it.
Yeah, Francis, defense, by the way, guys,
cannot be overlooked.
Francis became one of the biggest Carlos Correa fans last night after seeing this. I mean, he said flat out, if you spend the money, this is the guy you get. You were sold.
100. Listen, guys, I'm going to tell you. I watched it. I sent it to the chat. I sent it so RB could watch it. Guys, I watched this interview and was 100% sold. I said, if I'm dolling out that kind of money, I want to give it to, because his mentality is like the way he was speaking. This guy is obsessed with baseball, much in the way that Garrett Cole is. Remember when we were recording Garrett Cole and all that stuff came out? Oh, this guy's always watching video. He's always watching tape. He's always looking at the, peripheral stats. He's big into analytics. He's looking on this is basically shortstop Garrett Cole. Like, all he talked about was different numbers, different stats, and he could quote people's stats off the top of his head. Like when he brought up Jacob Stallings, he didn't just bring up a name and said, yeah, that guy's good. No. He gave you the numbers.
Yeah.
Of how he gave you the numbers of how many strikes he stole and how much less strikes Yachty stole than he stole. And the guy's like, but Yachty threw out more runners. He's like, yeah, but like this guy's stealing strikes so that the runner doesn't even get on base. I was like, I'm freaking that kind of mentality. We don't have that right now in the Yankees. I don't know that we do. If we do, it's really well hidden because I put it in our chat last night. I was like, I wonder if Gleyber Torres knows any of this.
No.
No. I wonder if Gary Sanchez knows any of this.
No.
That Carlos is talking about right now. He's quoting it like real nonchalant, matter-of-factly. It's like, bro, where are we? And I'm not saying that Corey Seager's not that guy. I hope that there's an interview of Corey Seager out there speaking like this, because I'd love to give him the praise too. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, bro, we need guys like this who are obsessed with getting better, who are obsessed with winning championships, who understand that defense can't be overlooked. Facts. I'm really happy that Joey Gallo is our left fielder next year. I know that he's going to strike out a ton. I think he's going to hit a little bit better average-wise, and I really think it's going to be nice to have all his home runs being hit for us. But most importantly, I love the fact that we're not putting out a reclamation project in left field. We're not putting out an experiment in left field. Yep. And playing in a division with the amount of right-handed pull hitters that we play in, and we have a project in left field.
Facts.
I'm sorry, guys, if you don't get that defense matters. Then
it matters. It's so damn important. I mean, look at the Yankees winning the championship. Look who the first baseman was. You know what I mean? They had of course Tino, then they had Mark Teixeira. You know what I mean? There's very important positions, and it's funny because two of the most important are the ones that fans talk shit about on the Yankees: is first base and catcher. It's crazy. LI Yankee King goes ahead and my goodness. LI, man. I mean, I appreciate the super chat, but you didn't have to give $9.99 for that, fam. I'm gonna keep it real with you. You said, Pete and Francis, I bet you Cashman does this because he's a bottom 5 GM. Pirates acquired Gleyber Torres. Yankees acquired Jacob Stallings. There's no way in the world that happens. One, I love Jacob Stallings, fan, but he's not going to be worth Gleyber Torres. And on top of that, I mean, the Pirates have Nick Gonzalez, Onel Cruz. You know, they got a ton of guys in an infield. Second, third, and short is probably going to be covered for years to come.
They don't need. Yeah, they don't need.
It wouldn't make a ton of sense right there. To do something like that. If you're adding, I'm not even gonna start talking about Gleyber to the Pirates at all because none of that makes sense. I don't think they'd even want him for Brian Reynolds, to be honest. I think they'd look more towards prospects that can help him now and in the future, to go that route. But yeah, appreciate the super chat, fam.
I don't see that, buddy. I'm sorry. Li, gotta love you. We miss you on Twitter. Don't know what happened to you there.
Yeah, but, why you not? Yeah, throw it in the section down there. Why you not back on Twitter? Because I thought you came back for a little bit. Killer Joe crushed you. Killer Joe killed you for a minute. He came for you.
You came back. You resurrected for a second, and then you disappeared again. So we're trying to figure out. Super chat us that. Why the hell? What's going on with you on Twitter? But yeah, bro, I don't know. This whole thing with Gleyber Torres. I know Li, you love Gleyber Torres. I'm sorry, buddy, but I mean, if I had my way, Gleyber Torres is not on the Yankees next year. There's just no way.
Well, to be fair, their best alignment doesn't have him in it. And I mean, that's just true.
And that's why, because I'd rather have DJ LeMahieu playing second base. And I am comfortable losing the potential of Gleyber Torres. I'm not saying that Gleyber Torres is going to be bad. We say this all the time. It's like a broken record. Gleyber Torres is probably going to be fine if we trade him somewhere else. He's probably even going to be an all-star if we trade him somewhere else. I don't necessarily need him over here trying to figure that out. I think he will figure it out elsewhere.
Can I tell you why I'm very much against Gleyber Torres? It's the same thing for Gary Sanchez. I'm just being real because that's all we do here. So I'm just going to tell you my honest opinion. I don't think neither one of them truly care. And I'm being honest. I don't think neither one of them truly care about the projection of their career. I think they both have talent, and they're both talented guys, and they just live off that alone. I don't think you see either one of them. We talked to Kevin Kernan, right? Kevin Kernan never mentioned that they're one of the guys out there early, that they're there early in the morning. They're there this. He said that, neither one of them are anything special, but he expects that he'll be back at second base. But I look at them and looking at this offseason, I don't like to judge things off pictures and stuff like that and be like, oh, maybe he's getting a little heavy. I don't know, but I would like to see a guy like Gleyber Torres, that young, really, really look terrific. I like to see videos of Gleyber Torres working on things instead of seeing videos of Gleyber Torres trying to model an outfit. I mean, even another thing today. Miguel Andujar
hanging out with all these guys.
And Miguel Andujar took 2 pictures. One he's in Gucci or something. The other one he's in something else holding a bat. And I'm like, bro, you're a baseball player, fam. Why don't we? Well, you haven't played in a long time. Why don't we see you on the field?
To shoot Andujar some bail, he's actually been posting up some workout.
Has he? So I missed that. So Miggy Andujar, who I still love, and I think you're gonna have a really good shot to be a DH in the National League if somebody calls upon you. I think you could hit. I don't think anybody should ever question if this kid could hit. He could hit. Miguel Andujar can hit a baseball.
He's no doubt about it. He's a natural-born hitter.
He's a natural-born hitter. He can hit, but
he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good in the NL when they add the DH this year.
And look, Ryan's right. Let's call it like it is. Gary and Gleyber are losers. I feel the same. I feel that way. I do.
They're not.
I don't think not losers in life because they're successful. I'm not gonna. They got to that level. They're not losers in life.
Yeah.
I feel like they are not winning players. I feel like these are losing players.
I don't
you don't
feel
win a lot with a lot of these guys on your team.
I would say my assessment of Gleyber and Gary is that they're not championship players.
Well, there you go.
They're not. I don't think that they're championship material. That's my take on them. I said it when we had this conversation on Designated
We'll make it even
on
easier.
our episode. Yeah,
we can make it even easier. We both feel the Yankees are a better team without either one of them.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's
and that has no knock on them as players because we both agree.
Simple as that.
They may be very good elsewhere.
And they're talented guys. Neither one of us is saying that Gary Sanchez is completely untalented.
No, of course not.
He is a very talented
Felix brought
hitter.
Up a great point. Felix brought up a great point. Felix said if there was ever a time to trade Stanton, if the Yankees ever were to do that, not saying that they would, but he's saying the best position for Gary Sanchez is as DH. And then he even went on the point of even saying, well, if other teams wanted to trade for him, you can't say that teams wouldn't be lining up to trade for Gary Sanchez as a DH. I think a lot of teams would want him.
No, I feel like if we non-tendered him, and he was out there to be had, I feel like the Marlins will pick him up right away because they're looking for offense. They also are looking for a catcher. They know he's not going to be the best defensive catcher, but they know that the DH is coming to the NL, and they know Gary. So they'll pick him up. They pick him up. The Phillies might pick him up as a DH option. There's so many places that will pick him up.
I would put my hands on fire for this one. Most of the teams in the National League would be like, yeah. Even the bad teams, the Nationals, would say, yeah, we could trade him. We could sign these guys a DH and then trade him.
Yeah, because he's going to get – because make no mistake about it. When Gary Sanchez only has to focus on hitting, he's 100% going to become – a way better hitter than he's been the last couple of years. You're going to see the average go up. You're going to see the home runs go up.
Even if his average goes up to 235, 240 tops, if that's tops, he would arguably be an elite DH.
But if that's what I'm saying. If Gary Sanchez is getting up to 235, 240, and he's hitting you 35 plus home runs,
huge.
A lot of teams are going to want that. Here's what we're saying. He's not going to do that as a catcher on the New York Yankees.
No.
And I think we've seen that is not going to happen. So that means that his value is probably as a DH. We do not have that position open because that is manned by Giancarlo Stanton right now. And he is much better at it than Gary Sanchez would be. So bye-bye Gary Sanchez. Yep. It's nothing personal. It's nothing whatever. It's just like, you're not championship material for what we need. You don't fit that material. So you got to go. Gleyber Torres.
I still might have to make that shirt, the Gleyber's ass shirt. So Tyler, thank you for throwing Gleyber's ass in there and remembering that shirt still might have to come out someday. I might give him a shot. If he's a Yankee, I might give him a shot and let him play a little bit. But the Gleyber's ass shirt is definitely in consideration. It's definitely in consideration to make an appearance. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Okay, Tim Burns. This is an interesting question. I think, what would you pay for Marte, Simeon, Correa, and Trevor Story?
Hey, to hell with it. Let's play some salary GM. I'm gonna give you guys a heads up. I'm not good at it. I'm always bad at this crap. I hate doing it. But let's see. Let's talk. Let's think about this. Why not? Right?
It's interesting that he.
Let's see. I'll say this.
I'll tell you.
Marte, I give. Let's see. $4 years, $64 million. Is that low ball? I'm lowballing them. Am I lowballing them?
4 years,
16 mil a year.
That's 16 mil a year. Starling Marte is 32.
4 years brings him to 35. Is he 31 or 32?
I think he's 32. Let me Google that.
Yeah, guys, I hate the whole guessing salary stuff and guessing. That's the one thing I'm always like, please don't ask me that. But you know what? It's fun, right? Why the hell not? We here, we chilling with family. Might as well. Pee Wee Booney merch needs to come out. You better believe it. Marte will get about 20 million. Justin, you might be right. He might. 3 years, 60.
3 years, 60. I mean, I feel like he can get a fourth year from somebody. So you probably have to go 4.
I would never do 4 years, 80.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So if you're
no.
gonna go 4 years. Listen, I would say this.
All right. You're a hard negotiator. 4 years, 72. That's 18 mil a pop. Take it or leave it.
Guys, Pete is he's way more shrewd than I am. I'm telling you. Me, I would say I am willing to go about. I'm definitely willing to go to 80. I'd say I'd be willing to do.
You gonna go to 5 years?
5 years. All right. If I go to 5 years, then the average annual value is going to be low. It's going to be pretty low.
16.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now. If I'm going to 5 years, he's only going to get 80 for 5. I'd be willing.
What's that? 16 mil a year.
Yeah, I'd be willing to do 85 over 4, which is 21.
85 over 4, 21 million a pop.
That's 21 million. And the reason I say I'd be willing to do that is because I feel like the competition is heavy. He's gonna get some crazy offers. Not crazy like 30 million a year, but I'm saying like people are gonna go 20 million, 21, 22. Mm-hmm. Some people predict him getting 25 a year. I think that's a lot, but if the luxury tax threshold does go up the way people are predicting it to, then you got a lot of teams who are gonna say, fuck it. Here's 25.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
Take it. He's good. He's good. I mean, he's just, my thing is like, yes, he's 32. So like you do got to be careful because the tools that I personally want to sign him for, one of those is the speed. And as he ages, that's obviously probably not going to be the same case. So 25 seems like a lot to me, but I'd be comfortable with 21.25. Who was the other one he said?
Trevor Story.
Okay, Trevor Story. How old is Trevor Story?
29, I think.
Trevor Story's 29?
I think he's 29. Maybe I'm wrong.
I thought he was like 28. Okay,
28,
so
28 or 29, I believe.
Trevor Story, 20. I'd be willing to go. Let's see how much this works out to be.
180.
7. I'll tell you, Pete, you are shrewd, bro. 7 for 180.
Bro, I have nobody on my team. They go.
No, Pete. Listen.
Francis
you know what it is?
Francis said when he becomes a GM, he gonna go out there and do it all. They gonna see me. They gonna be like, we ain't changed nothing. I tried. I didn't think this shit was this hard. What the fuck? I tried to do it.
Nah. Listen, the thing is that you know why we would make a good team, because like you gotta have some of that, because every now and then somebody is gonna sign for deals like that. People don't think it happens, but look at the DeGrom's contract. Look at Ozzy. Look at the DeGrom's contract. Look at Ozzy Albies contract. These guys were severely lowballed and they took it. You never know. You really never know. Situations and circumstances change a lot. So you never know.
Bro, is there any way that Trevor Story takes a 1-year deal for like $22 million? I think any way that's possible that he accepts a 1-year deal somewhere to rebound? Not that he had a bad year, but
I think it's very possible that if you're willing to go up a little bit on that average annual, if you're willing to give him. So
let me ask you this. Oh no,
27.
Carl just said Trevor Story is 29 tomorrow. What if
he's 29 tomorrow?
Yeah, 29 tomorrow. So let's just we're obviously having fun here.
I'd give him.
Wait a second. Somebody comes to you tomorrow and says the Yankees are signing Trevor Story a 1-year deal for $27 million. Do you do it?
A 1-year deal for $27 million?
That's all. That's your only commitment right there. 1-year deal.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I do it.
And he's your short. But you have to forget about Seager and everybody else. And it's only for 1 year, so you got to look at the situation again next year.
I do it. Let me tell you why I do it.
I'm right there with you. I think you got to be nuts not to take a 1-year deal from somebody.
Let me tell you what it is. He's not. I'm telling you, he's betting on himself, and he's doing it on your team for a year,
and on the biggest stage in the market. That's
stage.
Ballsy one.
So if he falls flat on his face, and he's terrible, then
you might still be able to resign him if you need to.
I'm done with him after 1 year.
Or if you really need a shortstop that bad, you get him really cheap.
Then either I'm done with him after a year, or I say, hey, you didn't have a good year, but I'll give you a multi-year deal just to keep you here because we like you.
Yeah.
Right. If he kills it, well, that's great.
And you can still resign him.
I can still re-sign him. A lot of teams are out of the market because they signed all the shortstops from the year prior. So I'm not going to have too much competition to re-sign you. And I'm going to have the upper hand that you were with me for a whole year. I gave you $27 million. You played out of your mind. You know what? Let's talk about a deal where I'm paying you about 25, 24 annually. Long term.
Yeah.
I would do it. I'd do it in a heartbeat.
So
I think Trevor Story could consider that if the things take long, like the negotiations take long and we get to February and Corey Seager and Correa are still dilly-dallying, wasting time. Guys like Story are going to be the ones who pay for that because Story's going to be a real tough deal to get because a lot of teams aren't going to pivot to him until Correa and Seager are off the board.
And he probably would want to wait for that too.
Yeah, of course, because he wants to up his value.
Correct.
Yeah,
correct. You would have to think that.
Yeah, you gotta wait. You gotta wait until you know what I mean. Listen, tropical fantasy cola doesn't look good in the freezer, but when Coke and Pepsi are off the freezer, and that's the only cola there. Now it starts looking good. Now I'm not saying Trevor Story is tropical fantasy, but you know what I'm saying. You gotta let some of the other
country club.
You know what I'm saying? You gotta let some of the other options make space. So if you're Trevor Story, you can't sign before Seager or Correa unless somebody goes out of their mind and do. Would it be a stroke of brilliance for Cashman to just shock the entire industry and throw a deal at Trevor Story before December 1st that Story agrees to?
I would. I tell you what, I would reach out to them.
Yeah.
And I would have a game plan that basically says, hey, look, we're going to give you a ton of money for 1 year, but you're also going to be the best free agent in baseball next year. Actually, at the free agent position at shortstop, arguably one of them.
Here's the interesting thing.
No, Johnny, you're right. Country Club is banging.
Country Club is fire. We're not saying it's bad.
Country Club is delicious, no doubt about it.
OD.
Most people are going to take a Coke though over Country Club. They don't know too much about Country Club, but you know I do.
Dude, I say it like this. Listen, it's not unprecedented. Trevor
Simeon
Bauer,
just did it.
Simeon just did it. And Trevor Bauer literally was adamant about that was all he wanted. So a lot of players are doing it. And the reason they're doing it is because you don't get locked into a situation that you don't want to be in for a long time. Mm-hmm. Now, Trevor Story doesn't seem like the guy who's going to want to go somewhere and then leave again and things like that. It's another thing with Anthony Rizzo. That's why a lot of people are look, he wants to stay with the Yankees or whatever, because he's a creature of habit at this point. If Rizzo doesn't re-sign with the Yankees, a lot of people have predicted that he just goes back to the Cubs and just hangs out with them throughout the rebuild, which it would be crazy to let his talent waste away there, especially when you know that teams like Boston are going to go after him and stuff. Like why would he do that? But some players don't want to do that. So if Trevor Story says, hey man, I want to be in a place long-term, but right now my market just isn't what I think it should be. I'm not getting the value that I think I should be. If I'm Cashman, I'll be like, yo, listen, what do you want? 27, 30? You want 30? 30 for 2022? And then we talk again. I'd do it. Yeah. I'd do it in a heartbeat. And then I'd go and lock up Robbie Ray long-term because I didn't just give, I'd go and do other shit. You know what I mean? Because I got my shortstop for next year. I'll figure it out as it goes away. Again, this is me. Do I see Cashman doing that? No, Cashman is about legacy and things like that. Whatever. Me as a GM, I obviously would move differently because I'm not worried about a legacy. I'm not worried about my ego.
Me, I just get nobody. So
I'm not worried about making I'm not worried about making a mistake. No, I think look, Trevor Story, I could see Trevor Story getting let's say 24.25 over 8. What is that? That's 194.
It's 194.
That's 194. Let's make it a round number. 195 over 8 years. That would be 24.3 million a year.
Damn, did you see what is my goodness? This the first time I've ever seen this because I don't really go on a lot of these sites and look at stuff. MLB trade rumors projections, they got him only getting 21 million over 6 years. 6 years, 126.
Trevor Story?
21
million over 6 years.
21 million over 6, 126 over 6 years.
Shout out to MLB Trade Rumors because I like the content that they put out, and I think that they're good at a lot of things, but that projection I disagree with.
They got Marcus Semien at 6 years, 138.
Guys, 6 years, 138 for Semien would be 23 a year. Yeah, no, Simeon's getting at least 25.
They got Freddie Freeman at 6 years, 180. Corey Seager, 10 years, 305.
He just turned down a better deal than that, I think.
And then Correa, 10 years, 320. And they all have Seager going to the Yankees. The first time I ever saw that. Robbie Ray, they got 5 years, 130.
130 by 5.
Oh, let me see what they got.
Robbie
Let me see
Ray.
what they got Verlander. I want to laugh here.
Robbie Ray is not inaccurate in my opinion.
that doesn't sound. Oh, here we go. Since we talked about him, Starlin. Oh my God, I just kicked my camera. My bad. Starlin Marte. Did I fix it? Yeah, it's fixed. Okay. Starlin Marte. They have 4 years, 80 million.
Hey, that's what we just basically said.
We said that, so we were on there.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm trying to find. Oh, by the way, speaking of free agents that are out there, I heard a terrifying rumor today. I don't know how true it is, that the Toronto Blue Jays are interested in Chris Taylor.
Oh, no, I believe it.
So that's just more home run power for them. I'm looking for Justin. Did they got Justin Verlander in here anywhere? John Gray at 4 years, 56 million. If that's the case, would be a very nice deal for somebody.
That's a really, really easy get. John Gray is going to become
They got Justin Verlander at 2 years and 40 million. Am I the only one that's a nutcase?
No, it's that, Pete. The thing is,
I mean, now I'm believing it's going to happen, but I'm just like, I don't know how.
I agree. Listen, I agree with you. I don't think that he is worth 20 million right now, coming off with all the risk and everything. But what I was saying in the chat and the other day, like the reason I said, like, I would sign him for the 2 years, 40, or like, if he was interested in giving me like a little bit less, like 19 or whatever, then I do it. Is because he's gonna get that because he already got offered the qualifying offer, and the qualifying offer is already 18.4. So that means that Houston, who let George Springer walk, who's about to lose Correa, they're still willing to pay Verlander almost $20 million.
Right.
The Tigers are most likely going to be in on Verlander. The Rangers will probably be in on Verlander. The Mets, a team that a lot of people aren't talking about, the Mets will be in on Verlander. The Yankees will be in on Verlander. And guess who else? LA, the Angels, as well as the Dodgers will be in on Verlander. So what happens when that many teams are in on one guy, and this is a Cy Young winner, and all that? The price goes up. So that 18 all of a sudden starts looking like, I don't know. Like, I could probably, listen, man, I could just take this 18. So if you're not offering me at least 20 over 2, then I might as well just stay where I'm at, right? I don't even got to uproot myself. I just stay here in Houston.
Yep.
I feel like to get him out of Houston, you're looking at 2 years, 40 to start. Somebody might be stupid enough, Angels, to give him 3 years, 60.
They also have a good one here. Yan Gomes, 2 years at 10 million, and 2 of the 3 guys thinks he goes to the Yankees. 2 years, 10 million is a joke.
Let me tell you right now. If you can get Yan Gomes for 2 years and $10 million, you do it.
Yeah.
You do it. But you also, before you sign that deal, you see what Roberto Perez is looking at.
Oh, of course, I agree.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Because if Yan Gomes is only looking at a 2-year deal worth
At
$10 million,
$5 million a season, yeah.
I want to know what Perez's number is, because remember what I was saying before, it's all about player comparison. Because Perez's number is not going to be far off that, and you know what? If it's not, then I'm going Perez. No disrespect to Gomes, he's still a huge upgrade over Sanchez.
I agree.
But Perez, I go Perez. Perez has a lot of experience catching guys like Cole and stuff too. He hasn't caught Cole, but I'm saying guys like that he has experience. So
I want to get to this question here. Tyler Pearson says, does NY News have a community Discord? We do not. Let me get with Killer Joe about that, because Killer Joe's the tech dude. You guys wouldn't believe this when I tell you I am not big in technology or a lot of these other things out there right now. We're learning because we got this gigantic launch coming in January. So
listen, fam, once you guys see our new intros and templates and all that,
oh my God,
Pete is not going to be able to get away with saying that he's not a tech guy anymore. He's getting away with that shit now because y'all haven't even seen what we have coming for you in January. And
Francis has seen it, by the way.
Jimmy, it ain't Twitch, baby. It ain't Twitch.
NYY News, it ain't Twitch, baby.
It ain't Twitch, baby. Listen, it ain't Twitch. Nah, listen. Hey, no disrespect to Twitch. We probably could end up putting content there at some point.
There's gonna be a lot of stuff.
You never know.
I mean, again, like, just harping back on that, because we're wrapping up here any second. We're a little over 2 hours.
Yeah, thank you guys.
But looking at everything, I mean, everybody says, why do I talk about January? So I'll break it down for you why I do. We've put a ton. NY News started in 2005, so I don't think people really understand that. So I was a much younger person then when Felix started NY News, and me and arguably my best friend of my life growing up, and since 05. We actually met each other through the Yankees, and we decided to start working on that with him and writing articles and things like that and putting information out there. So we've always had these plans, but we also throughout life had different aspirations. You know what I mean? Things change, paths change. And at the end of the day, we're all back here now pushing hard at this, and we got an amazing team. And just to let you guys know, we have an even more amazing team coming on board starting in January. And the reason why I'm so hype about it is because in my heart, I truly believe that there is nobody else doing what we're about to provide Yankee fans in January. I truly believe that. There is no one else that is doing it. Not even the Yes Network is giving you guys multiple different opinions, multiple different angles. You're going to have about 4 podcasts to watch weekly. That's not even including pre-games and post-games live. Like we're doing now. That's not including roundtables. That's not including regular live chats. That's not including regular videos from more than just me. So you're getting many more opinions. NYY News TV is going to be absolutely amazing.
And the different opinions thing is big, guys. Like,
it's huge.
One of my knocks on, I'm not going to call people out by name out of generosity since it's Sunday. But one of my knocks on some of the other, content creators out there in Yankee land is that there's just a lot of agreeable opinions on the same panels and things like that. And I think it's good when you can debate certain things. Like, I think it's good, like, to have different opinions, have people up there. I was listening to this podcast recently, and I'm not going to name which one it is because they're actually coming on board with us, and I don't want to drop out. I don't want to let any cat out of the bag, but I was listening to one of these podcasts and they were saying like some takes like about Correa and Seager and other things or whatever. And I was like, wow, I really disagree with these guys. But I was like, I love that I disagree with them. I like that I disagree with them because they were providing like different angles, different insight that maybe I don't subscribe to, but it was good to think about that for a little while. Like, so the people who think this way, this is why they think this way. It was nice to hear that, but you don't get that if everybody just agrees with everybody. Need a little bit of debate. Need debate. Hold on, to end it with a bang. Gleyber Torres will win a gold.
I will bet. Can we do something? Can we do something live on the air? Can we do something live on the air?
Oh,
can everybody get me? This is recorded, so my side is covered. I will right now, LI Yanking. I'll tell you right now. I give you my word. $250 right now. I don't know if YouTube's going to ban me for gambling. $250. You agree right now. There is no way in hell Gleyber Torres wins a Gold Glove at second base. $250. I give you my word. The moment it's announced, I'll send it to you if he wins. I give you my word. $250.
No. You know what? That's not even enough. That's not even enough.
5?
We're gonna double that.
I'll go 5.
I'll put 250 also. I was gonna say I'll put 250. You put 250, and we send him 500 if Gleyber Torres wins the Gold Glove in 2020.
If you lose, you send both of us 250.
Li, are you willing to take that bet? Do you accept that bet? There's no way he accepts
Johnny said, "Damn, Pete, you mean 250 pesos from DR?"
Hey, Johnny, that's what I'm gonna send him. I'm gonna send him some pesos. He ain't. Hey, man.
Hey, let me tell you something. That question alone just devalued the Dominican peso to $58 per what is it? 58 pesos per $1.
Hold on. The plot thickens. Killer Joe added 150. The pot is at 6. God. The pot is at 650. About to go
broke. He hasn't responded. He disappeared. He bounced. He sent it and bounced.
Oh man, he is something else, man.
Li, come on, man. You got to give us.
Li, you can't say something like Gleyber Torres and Gold Glove in the same sentence.
I will throw in a pack of gabagool. I will literally throw in a pound of gabagool with that, and that's a hell of a deal.
Oh man, now Johnny,
everybody throwing money in.
Johnny say he's gonna put a Philo is gonna throw in 100. Philo, oh my God, hey. Li, where you at?
Where you at, fam? Any news on a hitting coach, Chris? No, I don't have much news on a hitting coach.
Hey, but it was nice. But it was nice. Hey, Chris, wasn't it nice to hear that they were interested in Chavez?
We'll see where it goes. It still might go there.
That's nice. That's nice.
Brandon Cunty. You could give me some. You give me a little bit of credit on that one, fam. He could give me a little credit. I know he probably doesn't like me too much, but when I put something out first, I don't complain about it no more because it is what it is. But give a little love, show a little love, give a little bit. Give a little bit up.
I didn't know Adam was here.
Yeah, King is in here.
Adam.
He called him a massive chicken.
Adam, why did you block me? Can you put that in the chat?
Shit.
Since Li doesn't want to tell us why he's not on Twitter anymore. Adam, I have to know, why did I get blocked?
No, we got beef in here.
Bro, I didn't even know I was blocked until we was having a conversation. When was it?
I love Adam. Adam, I got to be honest with you, bro. You get me a little angry every now and then. A lot of your comments get me. I'm like, man, I want to respond to them, but I don't want to. That's how I feel about you. I'm going to just keep it real. I'm going to keep it real with everybody in here. I'm not going to
tell you.
I love just about every one of you, to be honest. But, Adam, you get me a little aggravated. You put all caps all the time. Then you call people like dumbasses and stuff. I'm like, come on, man. What are you doing? That's Adam blocked Joe, too. You're blocking everybody, Adam. What are you doing?
Adam blocked Joe, too?
Flips LLC says, I'll put a stack on it.
Hold on.
Oh, he said you're not blocked. You were blocked early because we transferred one of his messages.
Yeah, remember? I was all right, he said check it. I'm not blocked.
He just did that. He just did that.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know, but I was. Anyway, all right. That's I appreciate it, Adam.
Yeah, guys. I had a tremendous time. I tell you what, I went to Trader Joe's, so I just gotta let you guys know what's next for Pete. They got some shrimp dumplings in there. I'm about to steam those babies up. That's how I'm gonna. That's my little meal for the day. I still got one arm, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for care and concern. Nobody mentioned it, but it's all right. I'm not heartbroken.
Guys.
Say get
well soon to Pete.
Nah, it's all right. Guys. It's okay. You know what makes it even more crazy? I'm doing a lot of this stuff with one hand. That's even more impressive. I'm building all this stuff with one hand. Trader Joe. My fiance and they look, babe. I know you want to go to Trader Joe's. I know you want to go. She likes those little cauliflower pancake type things. They good though.
Hey man, all that stuff is good. It's a nice.
I tell you what, when I go to Trader Joe's, I do feel my testosterone levels drop a little bit, but it is.
I'm not gonna hold you.
I gotta be honest with it.
Same thing happens to me.
Testosterone level. I
gotta go when I get home. I gotta punch a wall and like
100%, 100%. That's just how it goes. Last one. We'll do the last one. This is it. Predict when Olson gets traded. Damn.
Before December 1st. I'll jump out the window with that. Before the lockout.
I'm gonna stay with you. I'm gonna play it safe and say, you know what? I'm gonna say November 29th. I'm gonna go a little ahead of you. I'll say November 29th. The hell with it. November 29th. So guys, again, I don't have anything else to say, but this has been an episode of Designated Spittaz. So Francis, I gotta toss it over to you.
Yeah, I already know, guys. Keep it locked because the next episode is the best episode. Thank you, guys. And we will never come whack on a Designated Spittaz track. Guys, days go by. We're getting closer and closer and closer to NY News TV launch. You guys are going to know much more in a couple of weeks. So again, guys, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. Everybody contributed. Everybody that was just in the room. Thank you for a good time. And we'll talk to you guys again soon.